All right. Okay. See if that's it, Foley, because I just shared some with you. See if that's it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Have to see the post. Okay. Event isn't. It said the event isn't. Uh, nah, that's not it.
That's
Hold on.
not it. Okay, hold on.
Hold on. You Cardi B and Offset, emotional intelligence and healing.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I got it. Hold on, real quick. All right, let me copy that, and then let me also highlight that.
What's up, y'all? Y'all bear with us as the technical difficulties are being ironed out this
What you
evening.
said? What you said?
Bear
Hold
with
on.
us, people, good
I
people.
know, y'all
Welcome to
know.
the Unpopular Truth, by the way, guys. So if y'all can, share the live, like it, come on. We comments, we accept all the comments. We love the comments and whatnot. I didn't put on no lipstick or lip gloss or nothing, God. That's all right. We're gonna be all right tonight.
Don't think you need it.
Huh?
I guess you don't think you need it. It's okay.
I was taking a nap when you sent me a text message because I needed a power nap because I had a
Me
day.
too.
I was taking a
Me
whole nap.
too.
I
Man, it
didn't even
felt
set
so
this
good.
up like I normally do because I was taking a whole nap out here in these streets. Okay.
I just rolled out of bed.
All right. Y'all are not sipping on anything, which is fine. I'll be the only one drinking today. I needed this drink. You sipping on what is that? A ginger ale? A Tahiti?
Hold on now. It's a liquor
Oh,
store.
not a Tahitian treat.
It's a liquor store right here now. I mean, I'm
You can
I'm
stop
not
at the
riding
liquor
my
store and
bike
get some.
tonight, so
I'm just
it's
saying,
a
if you
liquor.
want to
It's
stop,
the
that's
world
all.
famous liquor store right here now.
I'm just saying, get a little can or something.
I
Get
know,
a little
right? Let me pull up in there.
can. I have concocted something. This is tequila rum, peach, not schnapps, but the peach puree. Um, and I got some pineapple juice in here. It's really good. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to call it, but I'm sipping on it anyway.
All
Um,
right.
we're
Hey,
gonna
my
get in
miss,
these
what?
topics. I don't have no toxic song of the night, and we're not gonna do that segment tonight. We're gonna do it at a later date. But what I want to get into is these topics. That's what I want to get into.
All right.
One topic we're going to add to before we get into the three that we got. I don't know if you guys heard the news of Brian McKnight's son, Nico McKnight, who passed after a 2 year long battle with cancer. Um,
Yeah, okay.
and I think it was super unfortunate that he didn't try to repair his relationship at least with his dying son, right? Um, there are a lot of mixed emotions, but the general consensus with this, there are a couple of people that are like, they was spoiled, they didn't appreciate their daddy, they was doing this and they was doing that, and that's fine. But
Cause that's what I heard. I heard
okay,
that.
so let me back up. Let's discuss real quick. I'm gonna give y'all
Okay.
an overview of what went down. So at first, my thought process was that because Brian came out with some stuff. The kids didn't say nothing. Brian McKnight came out with this stuff, right? So he came out with "I'm disowning my kids." That's how it started. This happened during the pandemic. He talked about how his kids were spoiled, they were unappreciative, they did this, that, and the third, and I don't want to have nothing to do with them. But it was specific to his sons, right? So
Mm.
his two older sons, if y'all do not know, Brian McKnight um has collectively, including the newborn, 5 children. Okay, he has 5 kids. Um, he has the newborn that he just had, that he changed his name so that he could match and the newborn could be a junior because he already had a Brad McKnight Jr. Um, and then he cheated on his wife with somebody and had a child that as a result of that. And then he had another child after that. Okay. So at the time when he was disowning the kids, the youngest of the four ain't had no dog in the fight. He was like 8 or 9 at the time. I didn't understand why that baby was disowned because all he is here. Okay. But I know there was a very complicated relationship with his daughter. So here let's discuss this. The sons, admittedly, like Nico, and Brian McKnight Jr. or the second or whatever he is, they said, yeah, we were young, we were spoiled. You took us out on the road, you exposed us to this life. Yeah, we felt a little entitled. Absolutely, we did. We sing and play instruments and do the things just like you do. So yeah, they said, yeah, we were. They did some stuff. They were young, and a lot of times I got a 22-year-old right now, and he ain't out here just wilding out. But every once in a while, I got to knock him upside his head. I know you got a 20-something-year-old in your house. Don't you have to knock her upside her head sometimes, Curtis?
I
Yep.
do.
And Foley, your baby ain't there yet, but he just turned 18. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I had to get with him today. I had to get with him
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
So Brian talked about how the kids were unappreciative. They didn't want to work. They were just living off of him. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I get all of that. So yeah, teach them a lesson. I wouldn't say write them out your will, but like teach them a lesson. Don't let them know what's in the will. Like make them work for it. Put crazy stipulations for them to get their money if something happened to you. Like don't just straight up disown your kids. That was my thought process. But I was like, well, Brian, I understand. I feel your pain. Well, then, they say there's 3 sides to each story: your side, they side, and the truth. Okay. So the kids were like, okay, dude, we were kids at the time because at this point, the kids are older when he comes out with this I'm disowning my children thing. They weren't, Nico, I think, was 31. Brian is a little older than Nico. So they're like, at this point in time, they were in their late 20s when this happened, right? And so his daughter that he had out of wedlock purposefully on your wife. As a matter of fact, your wife came home from vacation with your 2 kids, and she came home to all her stuff packed up. And you telling her, I done got an apartment for you around the corner. That's how she found out she was getting cheated on. Okay. So 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 your daughter, you gave money to her mama, but you never spent time with your daughter. So your daughter always felt like she was never wanted. Okay, cool. Okay, all right. So your daughter discussed that on her Instagram. My dad never really wanted me. He never made me feel like, but you went to the finest schools and you did this and you did that. And money is a great part of parenting, but it's not enough. Okay. So instead of saying, I really, you right, I was always gone. I never really made amends or tried to do anything to be in your life. You
He
decided
doubled
to get
down.
on social media and accuse your daughter of having incestuous relationships with cousins and stuff.
Mm.
You, as a matter of fact, because you defamed her character, she took you to court to sue you. And then in her taking her to court to sue you, okay, y'all going back and forth in battle. So of course now you didn't disown her, but you really didn't already disown this baby. She already don't feel like she wants it. Okay. Fast forward, your child
Right.
is diagnosed with cancer. You're going on social media every week talking about Fatherhood Fridays, and you're putting kids that you were not responsible for being here up on a pedestal, his stepchildren, and telling them they're the best kids ever. You're doing this and you have children that you have contributed to the demise of that relationship. So at first, okay, the kids spoiled. I get that. Teach them a lesson. Don't straight up disown them, and then you should call your children evil. They were products of evil, and all the, like, you have taken it to, like, here go hell. You done went past that. Get what I'm saying? So in my mind, bruh, whatever karma you got coming for you, you deserve. Um,
Right.
from my understanding, at the last minute, he stepped in and paid for Nico's medical bills, but you did not speak to your son for all intents and purposes. You ain't said nothing about your, and you ain't got to say nothing out loud to the public, but like you was out loud to the public dogging your children. I feel like you should out loud to your public talk about how this makes you, RIP to my son or anything like that, but you done disowned your kids. So it's more to the story than Brian McKnight's side, and I don't agree with how he's handled this. So as a result, people started not going to his concerts and shows. So I don't know how his money is looking. It might be looking a little funny. Uh, but his wife is a doctor, so he might be all right. But what do y'all tell me what y'all think about this? Because this is crazy to me.
Well, this is all well. The dilemma with his children, I thought it kind of started when he uh either he had like a child or a newborn baby with some new woman, and
No, that ain't when it
so the,
started.
the kids were kind of, huh?
I said, nah, that ain't when that started.
Okay, so it was, this is something that's been going on for a minute. Well, I mean,
It
I'm just sitting here listening. I thought Brian McKnight was kind of different. Um, just when he started like just doing stuff. I guess I don't know, but yeah,
oh,
I,
that
I guess I
song.
don't have too much. Yeah, with the Pornhub videos and music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of was like, damn, Brian, what you doing, bro? Like, even at his concerts, they were like he was kind of like on some Kanye West type shit at his concerts, just talking, and folks would be booing, like, sing the song, nigga. Like, so I knew he was kind of going through some other shit. I didn't know it was stemming like, or even I didn't know he had a dilemma with his kids that was that intense. So yeah, I do agree. No matter the age, you should be, no matter the age or no matter what they might have done, they're still your children. So just as a father, even if I don't like the lifestyle or anything that you living as my child, I'm still going to support you, love you in any way I can. Now, I'm not going to be um, your scapegoat. Like, if you choose to do something in your life that either doesn't work out, or or you choose to do something that puts you in a bind or a dilemma, I'm not.
Yeah.
You don't blame me. Like, I'm not going to be that father that you can blame, because I had that conversation with my kids, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to fight you all to go to basketball training. I don't want to fight you all to try and be better at what you all love to do, because when they're handing out the trophies, y'all sad because y'all names are not being called. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not going to look up and be, I'm 60, 70 years old and I got some 20, 30-year-old kids saying I would have been a great basketball player if my dad would have pushed me, or if my dad would have paid for me to go to training. I said, no, that's not going to be, my story. And so, that's how I feel. And I'm like, if that's the case, then man, somebody got murdered at the store down here. Boy, Memphis is wow. But yeah. So I just don't see as a father how you can just write a child or your child, just write them out of your life for forever. It's I can't believe that. That's why I'm sitting here in disbelief. Like, damn, Brian McKnight, I really rock with you, even on your weird stuff. But now I'm kind of like, wow. So that's where I'm at with it.
Curtis, it's on you, brother.
Um, the way I look at it, it's hard to have an opinion on it and not know everything. Big hair don't care. I guess when she the one to give me the camera. Um, it's like so. Even Bathsheba had a son that did something with his life. Probably want to look that up. Um, it's I don't know. I guess the easiest thing for me to say from the whole thing is like uh, like has conditions, but love is unconditional. I mean, maybe he didn't. I mean, just because you have children, people are sometimes under the assumption that just because you have children that you're gonna love them, and that's not the case. He already admitted that he had these children out of hell and out of whatever his complications were. So that's letting you know right now his what's going to be his attitude toward these people, because he looked at them as people, not his children. So he treated them accordingly. He treated them as basically as like you would treat a moocher. So that was his relationship with him. But he's the one that has to answer for that relationship. It's kind of like all the other relationships that we talk about on this podcast, good, bad, or indifferent. How do you speak back to them? The people that are going to speak back to Brian McKnight for the relationship, the personal relationships that he's in with his family, they're not going to support what he do because they're able to speak with their pocketbooks. So that's going to be their biggest voice. But beyond that, like I can't. It's hard for me to judge what he disowned because I wasn't there. I don't know what he did. I don't know the deathbed repentances. You did cite him for the things that he said, and you cited the children for the things that they said. But with me not knowing what they did, it's hard for me to judge. But I do know because I don't always like my children, but I do love them unconditionally. So maybe, he didn't get to a point where he actually, because it was so much trouble around how they got here, he equated the trouble to their relationship and never, look past that. So it's easy for him to attach to stepchildren or other children or other people that ended up doing what that followed his advice and admired him. And it was
Yeah.
easier for him to pour into children that, for lack of better words, worshiped him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and his natural children in general did not worship him. So he dismissed them. I mean, if that's the type of man he is, now you know, and stop supporting him. But you can't want for him to be a hero in your story because he got baby making music. Then, well, he's not that guy. You see that now, and I
Yeah, I
believe
was
him. Believe him.
totally
That's what he said he
disappointed.
is. Just believe.
Brian
Yeah,
McKnight is
believe
one of
him.
my favorite singers. I was extremely disappointed. I mean,
Right.
I was like, bruh. And I know people are trash just in general. I do know that,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you see the people on the videos, you see the songs, you see the magazine articles and all this other BS, right? You see them being interviewed on TV and so, oh my God. But
Right.
you know, I know
Yeah.
people are
But
trash. I mean, we're
back
finding
in
this
the
out
day,
day by day.
yeah, back in the early 2000s, because we're all Generation X, well, except Faith. Uh,
What happened? What happened?
back where you well,
We're on
are
what now?
you? We're all Generation X except you.
I'm Generation X.
Okay, I'll give it to you. But back in the day, Brian McKnight would have never had an interview on Oprah and put this information out. Right now, a podcast is convenient to put this type of
Yeah.
information out. Like it's like to me, like why Bob, you've already you've already sown the seed to why is now a ideal time to talk about this? Well, you know, the best life to talk about is your own. So and controversy builds ratings. So this is a good time to talk about this, I guess. Let him use his
Yeah.
platform to, you know, bury himself, I guess. For
I
those
guess.
people that don't like it.
Yeah. And Screet, what's up, man? He said I had some deep conversations about this. Some parents created children accidentally. They knew the possibility, but they were still not planning on kids, and they treat them as punishment. But not them two kids that you had when you was married. I'm sorry. I mean, I,
No, think about his situational awareness. I mean, he was married, right? So that means he's not married to her anymore. He could have married her for instead of it being something that was supposed to be holy, he could have married her for a contractual agreement. He could have married her to keep something. He could have married her to keep it away from somebody else. So he didn't,
but they were
or
married. They
you know,
so if
he
I
didn't have
didn't
to
know
marry
their
her for love.
if I didn't know their story,
Mhm.
because I here's the other side of this. This lady sacrificed her own career, her own life. I didn't know his wife could sing. I didn't know she was a writer. That lady sat to the side and took care of his kids and his home while he went out on the road. She basically it reminds me of Denzel and Pauletta, right? So when
Mhm.
Denzel was out, I didn't know that's how they met. They met acting. A lot of people don't know Miss Pauletta is an actor, right? And
Mhm.
so because Denzel's career was bigger than hers, she took a back seat and came home and made sure home was straight. Get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And
Mhm.
then when the kids got grown and gone, we see Miss Pauletta popping out in different things now. Get what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
she stayed home. And as a result of that, Denzel honors that woman. This girl did the same thing Denzel's wife did. And a lot of those women who they meet at a young age, they fall in love, they get married. Now the kids outside of that, I don't know what to say about that, but you can't tell me that you accidentally had two kids by the same
Mhm.
woman. Accident. No, I can't get behind it. That
No,
woman, that woman could completely had that man's back and held him down while he was out on the road or while he was doing what he did.
yeah, and it still wasn't good enough for him to stay
No,
married
it
to her
wasn't good enough for him to stay.
because that's not what he was in it for. He in his line of sight or his eyes, he could have done it without her, or he would have stayed with the wife of his youth.
It's crazy work, but at any
Yeah.
rate, um, I think it's unfortunate that he did not get to um complete or say, I'm probably not say goodbye. I don't know. We don't know that part, but it
Yeah.
kind of seems like you were literally have been trashing your kids. Like you go to your Instagram every time you get the opportunity, and you do that. So
Well, let it iron out. It's stories change as time grows, right? So the information that we know now about it is still going to be just as fresh in 2 months. In 2 months, he may come on a podcast and say, "Hey, listen, I want to talk to you all about my son. This is what was going on. This is what I did right before he died. I'm regretful, this, that, and the other." So it may come out later that he did have those conversations and was able to give himself what we would consider as closure. Or it may be that he didn't need any closure. But let I guess let time mend that wound. But if he's been exposed to everything else, he'll expose that too. Because now nothing is off topic.
yeah,
Nothing is, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't as sensitive for you to give the information that you did. So, in order to give his fans or the people that watch his podcast closure, he's going to expose it.
yeah, we'll see. All
We'll
right,
see.
next subject. This is kind of inspired by old Foley here. He don't know his little
Okay.
post to be inspiring the people out here in these streets. Foley made a post about Cardi B and discussed how
Oh, okay, yeah. Uh-huh.
uh so
Very, very hot topic on other pages. So I just had to grab it.
I got you.
And
So I
it,
don't know.
got,
I don't know
got
how Stephon Diggs. Yeah, I don't know how Stephon Diggs does what he does. I'm not sure what his situation is. I don't know. Okay.
Hmm.
Here's what I'm gonna say today. And I meant to comment on it, and I didn't have time because I've been working this contract, this big contract I've been working on is coming up. So I've been working on the things. Um,
Whoop, whoop.
I've been working on the things. So you said that Cardi B got with a dude that is into polyamorous relationships. I think is what the statement was. But
no,
left
no, no,
Offset for cheating on her. I think it was what am I right? Am I correct in
no,
that statement?
no, not, he's not he's not polyamorous.
Stephon
He's
not
Oh.
free.
polyamorous.
Yeah, he's not poly. That's the thing. He's not poly. He's free. And that is what a lot of okay, so the subject was Cardi B was always upset at Offset for having multiple women or dealing with multiple women, right? But she then gets with a known playboy. Like Stephon Diggs is known for having multiple women at one time. He's
Okay.
a successful NFL player. Uh, of course, he got the bag. He can he can afford multiple
To do
girlfriends.
that.
He
Yeah.
can afford to do it, right? And so they say, "Damn," everybody was like, "Damn, that's the that's the rebound of black women." For lack of a better term, this is the unpopular truth. Women who go through the heartbreak of being cheated on tend to go with another man and basically tell that other man, "Look, do whatever you want to do, just don't hurt me anymore." And I'm speaking that from an experienced place where the person was like, I'm tired of being cheated on, so I will accept you having all of these other women. Just make sure that that these women know who I am. So basically, have your fun, have your cake and eat it too. Just make sure they don't step over bounds. And so, one of the statements the comments that made me want to post that and see what my followers and people that follow my page would say was the comment that said, "Damn, if only her and Offset could have had this type of conversation." Because she caught Offset numerous times cheating, right? And numerous times, I guess, she went back to him until, I guess it got to a point where she got tired of it. But if Cardi B and Offset would have had the conversation of, "Hey, I'm this type of man, and this is how I want to live my life, married or not," then Cardi B might have given that option to Offset. But someone said, "No, a woman that's in love with you, like really in love with you, is not going to allow you to have multiple women. She's going to feel that she can provide all of the energy, all of the sex, all of the entertainment that you should ever need and want by herself. And if you love her, you won't do that." But most men nowadays aren't built like that. And so, like I said, the comment said that the only reason why Cardi B didn't do the HO3 or the 304 shit she's doing with Stefan is because she really loved and cared for Offset. And so the big conversation and back and forth was, why do women feel, or why do women do that after they're with a man and they go through the cheating with the man, and the man probably, won't stop cheating, but they'll leave that man only to go to another man that's cheating, and then say, you know what, I'll accept you for cheating. I'll accept your cheating, just so I'll accept your cheating, even though I left a relationship that I was being cheated on. And I was like, I've heard it with my own ears, where the woman said, I'm tired of being cheated on, and my next guy who I'm going to get, which she has now, let I'm going to tell the guy, if you want another woman, just let me know. And not only will I possibly go get this other woman with you, I will be okay with it if you talk to me about it, in the first place. Just don't do it behind my back. And she's dead serious, and that's the way she's living. So she's allowing the other man, so this new guy, to be with other women, and sometimes she brings other women to satisfy his appetite because she was so hurt in the last relationship from a cheater. And so that point of the offset because I hate
You breaking up a little bit, friend.
Cardi B. You are allowing Stefan
What's up,
to
Wendy?
have women, like just have multiple women, and she's down with it. She's playing with the other women. She's enjoying all of this. Why couldn't she do this with Offset? So that was the question.
Okay. Uh,
That's
Curtis,
easy. That's easy.
what's easy? Go on, tell me, and I'm gonna give my thoughts. Go ahead.
I wasn't even there, but the
Somebody
game
said I wasn't even
I
there.
wasn't even there. But it's still games being played, but it's different set of rules. So she went in a marriage with a individual who I guess she thought I guess she thought that the dream was that they would be faithful to each other. And she kept getting upset because logically speaking, he kept changing the game without letting her know. If he would have known, if she would have known up front that, hey, I'm still gonna be this young man and I'm gonna be promiscuous out here in these streets, would she have still married him? Absolutely not. She wouldn't have, because that's not what she was looking for. Uh, but now she's going into a relationship with the experience and the knowledge of knowing that, hey, I'm attracting these men that are still going to be on that 304 tip. So I'm going to
Come on,
allow
you done
them
learned how to say
to,
304. Look at you.
hey, I had a beeper. Where you think they got it from? I had a beeper. I had a pager.
Okay.
So it's like she's in her head, she's controlling the game now. At first she was in a game that she wasn't playing. Now she's in a game that she understands what cards she's playing. As long
Mhm.
as she playing spades and he not playing chess, they good. Long as they're on the
Right,
same page with the same game, she's going to be good. So she's going to allow that. And because
right,
I mean, she's Cardi B. She is not like she's going to let him cheat and not be able to have pull herself.
right.
We
And
ain't
and I
talking.
also,
And think about it too. She What was her previous occupation? Ha. So
right.
so being able
So she
to
might,
freely share with
she
the
might
club. I
have,
mean.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? She might have came out of the club thinking that, hey, this guy's going to be serious with me, but he kept on showing her
Right.
over and over again. Even though I love you, I still got a thing for the girls with these type of women. So I'm so glad that you
Right.
said that, because I did mention that with the other situation. That was one thing when I asked the young lady. I said, so if you leaving the one guy for cheating on you, and you're allowing this new guy, you're quote unquote saying, hey, I don't, if you're gonna be with me, I want to be with you, but don't go cheat on me. Tell me that you want another woman, and not only will I be okay with it, but I will even help you find a woman. I said, so why are you doing, like, why would you do that? Not just make things work with the man that you are with and got kids with. She said, because I want to control what happens. She feels
That's
like
it.
if she knows that, so instead of you going to cheat, he should tell her, baby, I'm going out with the guys tonight. I may link up with a little broad, or I've been talking to her online, or I'm thinking about talking. This is how like she feels like she wants to control the narrative of the situation. And I was like, so you really feel in control because you're saying, hey, don't cheat on me. You want to go talk to another guy, or you want to be with, I mean, not another guy, but you want to be with another girl, and I'm going to go get a girl and bring her to you to satisfy that appetite. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
she's experienced sexually everything from threesomes to trains to orgy. Like she's experienced sexually everything, like public sex, anything you can imagine. She's like that type of girl, and so she was like, but I can't get
Right.
guys who won't cheat on me. And I'm like,
Right.
so you feel you're going to control the situation by just telling the guy, be my man, but don't cheat on me. Let me know you want another woman, and I will help you get this other woman. And I guarantee, like, and she's living
Yeah.
that right now. And I say it, I say, man, the dude, he lucky. Like, he's a lucky guy when you get done with it. He does not have to be serious about a commitment to her. He gets his cake and eat it too. And on top of that, in order for her not to be by herself, she will go and find women. Like if they out and she sees somebody that he's attracted to, like if she got a big booty or big breasts, she will be like, "Oh, you like that?" And she'll go and get the girl, and they will
Right.
ultimately be with this other girl. And I'm like, "Damn, that's crazy! Like you living your life like that." Like, but I mean, in the end, I'm like, well,
Yeah.
maybe
The
that's the
the
easiest
only
way. And for the guy, is yeah,
yeah.
it's the guy's lucky. Caught her in that phase, and she is wide open to it right now. And I think that's what everybody is. They
Look,
applauding
only
Cardi B for it, but I'm like at the
face
same time,
shaking her head. But the only reason why we got a problem and don't have a problem with it because it's a issue of morality. It's the same breath to me that you have a child that has been drinking alcohol, and then the mom was like, "Okay, I'm gonna throw you an alcohol party and in the house." So they're gonna get drunk anyway,
yeah,
but at least they doing it in the house. It's the same thing. It's
yes,
so morally,
same
we're like, ugh, what the hell? What you doing it for? They shouldn't be drinking in the first place. And on the relationship side, you're going, ugh, that person should be yours. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. But we understand morally, it's a false sense of control because you really don't grow from being able to like faith understands that she's not going to grow sharing a relationship with somebody else.
I ain't doing that.
So
Absolutely not.
because morally it makes sense, but remember people sometimes seek power in different forms. And if this is her way to gain power over the relationship, to not even for because you mentioned something I cringed that she's saying that that's her man. No, she's really saying that he's a man. So I'm going to allow him to be a
yeah,
man. But we all don't think like that. I just want you to know. But I'm going to allow him to be a man and do what he do, and I'm gonna do what I do. As long as I can
yeah,
control the environment and drive the wheel, we good.
yeah,
I'm driving. He in the passenger seat. I'll put as many in his back as possible. I'm gonna let him be a man, and
yeah,
morally, we that's our conflict. That it's just not right, especially with two kids involved. By the way, she also thought that those children possibly was going to change the dynamic of their relationship, and it never did.
They got more than two kids, by the way, friend.
Oh yeah, they do.
They
yeah. I
got
think they got
three.
They got three. Yeah.
They got
three. Yeah,
three kids. So,
that's
so let
but
me get my
is
my little thoughts,
Cardi B
thoughts.
not,
Okay,
not a new situation. It's not a
huh?
new situation. Responding. Cardi B is responding and behaving like I've seen over half of the women that I discuss after heartbreak. It's the
Okay,
narrative of, hey, I'm tired. So whatever this relationship or the next guy brings to the table, I'm going to be open, acceptable, and I'm just going to go with it. It's like the standard and
let
boundaries get
okay.
dropped after there.
I got
after
you.
they become hurt. They,
Hmm.
and so it's not new, not at all. It's not new.
Mm-mm.
So let me put a couple of things out there real quick. Cardi was married to Offset. They're going through their divorce thing or whatever right now. They were married under the stipulations of whatever their relationship was or whatever he presented their relationship to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The agreement, from my understanding, was hey, it's me and you. Okay.
And you and me.
It ain't me, you, and Starkeisha and Kiki and Lolo and all of this. It's me and you. Okay. That's what it is. It ain't
Mhm.
nobody else but the two of us. Okay. Because here's the other thing: if Cardi had been out here cheating on Offset, like Offset was cheating on Cardi, Offset would have a problem. Let's start there. Okay. So we're gonna start there. So they've defined it each and every time he lied to her. That girl almost went to jail because she jumped a whole nother girl, which I felt like you should have been jumping your husband. Because guess what? He was the one who, that's who you got the agreement with. You ain't got the agreement with nobody else. You got the
Showed
agreement with
up with the
that man that you
304.
walked down the aisle with. So
That's
I'm
right.
sure she learned her lesson and she ain't jumping on nobody else. Okay. That's number one. Number two, she's not married to Stefan.
Mm-mm.
Really, to be honest, when women get out of a marriage like that, a lot of times they not ready to jump back into another situation. They just want to have some fun. Okay. So here's the thing. Cardi can have fun. Cardi makes the money. Cardi does the things. Cardi can just have fun. She don't have to go get in a committed relationship with somebody who could possibly cheat on her. She got to get over her whatever the situation is, and she is hurting. She's hurting behind what happened because she actually did love Offset. That's why she gave him opportunity after
Yeah.
opportunity to come back. She gave him that chance after
Right.
chance. The other thing is Cardi B is a Libra. And that's what we do. We give you chance after chance after chance until we can't give you no more chances. And when we done, we done. Okay. Stick a fork in me, we done. Okay. That
Oh,
man came
yeah.
to that hospital when she had that last baby, and he thought, oh, she gonna take me back. And she was like, oh no, but partner, you come up here and see your child, but that's it, dog. That's all. I'm done. Okay. So when we are done, we done. I'm a Libra, I know. We give you every opportunity to fix it, Jesus. Okay. And if you don't fix it, bye. Okay. So typically when women get out of divorce situations like that, they just want to have fun. So people having all these think pieces about what Carter done got with this dude and he do this and he do that girl just having fun. She might not be on Stefan next week.
Right.
She might not be because she's just having fun.
Yeah.
They linked up
But
with
but
Stephon. They've been going out and hanging out or whatever. But she just having fun. I don't see Cardi marrying
but she
Stephon.
but now but now in all fairness now, she did post the other day, my man, and he sent her
Good
ten
for
thousand
her man.
roses.
Let's talk about that real
Okay.
quick. Somebody, I
They,
was on a
they're allowed
panel.
to court.
I was on a panel the other night,
Okay.
and um somebody asked me about why Diddy didn't do the things to what's her name? What's that girl name? Young Miami that he did to all the other women. I said, because Young Miami a YN. Okay? She a YN.
Right.
Young Miami said, I'm single, but we go together real bad. That's YN behavior. Cardi B is on that YN line, okay? So she can say my man, my man, my man, but again, that's not her husband. That's not. I'm having fun. That's what I'm doing. So this man got my attention right now. Tomorrow he might not be my man because she's still dealing with that hurt and pain from the divorce. How hurt he supposed to be? Who heard that from him? How hurt who's supposed to be? Screet. Hold on, Wendy. I'll bring you up in a second. How hurt who's supposed to be? Screet. You talking about Offset who's crashing, who's literally crashing out, who crashing out, and mad and asking for all kinds of money. Now that she done walked out the door and left him, and she paying bills for that
Well, I
man.
mean, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. and this is the fact of the matter. No man likes to lose their 304. No man likes to
Amen.
lose their 304. And in the end,
Amen.
if if you are if you are the woman, see, men, when we date, right, and women always like to say men don't love, like, you'll be shocked that when a man really loves you,
He don't
he's
care.
still going to be a man in his DNA. But the moment
Hmm.
he loses you, he is going to be hurt. A
And that
man
man
does
was,
not
and that man
bounce
is hurt.
right
I don't
back.
care what nobody
Now,
say.
if the relationship was miserable, the woman was horrible, yeah, man, we ready to get up out of there. But any man that has a 304 that's worth something, and a lot of people say you can't make a 304 into a housewife, you a lie. You can make that 304 into whatever you want to. But now, the moment you lose that 304 is the moment that things tend to crash down around you. You will be hurt
Hmm.
behind losing that. Because now, I get it. Offset was cheating. Cardi B kept on forgiving. Now we're making the excuse for Cardi B's actions now being a result of her being hurt behind that type of trauma. And I get it. I get it. But when it all boils down to it, he is upset. He's losing his 304. And she is now, to me, showing that 304 behavior has never left the coop. But that's fine.
That's all I
That's
Scream,
was
fine.
saying.
To me, that's the
scream.
unpopular.
Screw he been crashing out.
That's
When she first left him, he got them Instagram hands and he steady doing it. He acting like Future go. Let me say this. He got mad because he thought Stephon Diggs' hair was like his little boy's hair. Like he's crashing out, my friend. Trust it ain't just about the money.
yeah. But
He's
no, that's what I'm
he mad behind this.
saying.
He hurt. He hurt.
Yeah,
He hurt. And here's the other
he
part of this too. Let me say this too, because we look at personas of these stars, especially these rap chicks, and I understand y'all call it stripper rap and all this other stuff. We talk about that, right? Cardi had said, "I don't cook, I don't clean," but let me tell you how I got this ring. Cardi B been cooking and cleaning, and if every time you see Cardi go live from the house, she is cooking and she is cleaning. She is making the lunch for the children. She's cooking for that Negro that was at her house. She was
yeah.
cooking and she was cleaning. Okay, so you can say 304 behavior all day long, and that's fine. Now Cardi comes from a rough, like she got a rough upbringing. She come from a rough background.
Mhm.
She was a stripper, A B C D E F and the G. However, that
Yeah.
girl was taking care of business at the house. She was. When she wasn't on the
But no,
road,
no,
when she
but
wasn't traveling, when she wasn't doing,
but no,
she was
Faith.
at home being a housewife.
But Faith, that has nothing to do with it. And my uncles who were pimps, they will tell you your best wives are 304s. Your best wives are 304s. They're very appreciative of a man that takes care of them. They're very appreciative of a man who can actually love them and make them feel loved. The the the,
Yeah.
the
The
deprivement
basis
of
is
that in women.
they want security. That's the basis.
Yeah, exactly. They
That's what
want it.
Foley's saying.
They want it. So
Hmm.
see, Cardi B can get on her record and say, "I don't cook, I don't clean," but that 304 in her is still in her DNA. And so when that's why I say she was the typical and very down the middle housewife. To our knowledge, she didn't cheat. She cooked, she cleaned. She always did motherly duties. She was the perfect type of woman. And you would say, damn, why would Offset cheat on a girl like this? But it's all because 304s make the perfect housewives. But once that behavior comes back out, it's there. It never left. You get what I'm saying? And so now she's
But what
exhibiting
behavior came
that.
out? That's what I'm confused about. What
You said
behavior
what?
came out?
No, but, no, but that's what I'm saying. Her actions now. Her actions now. Would Faith do that? So Faith, you got cheated on, or your man cheat
Hmm.
on you, your husband cheat on you. Would you go out with Tom Earl and
Hmm.
participate in all type of threesomes, or allow Tom Earl to have other women call him daddy right in your
Hmm.
face, and then you
No,
turn around and play
I'm not
some
doing
girl
that.
and say
But
my
what
man.
I'm saying is, she is again. She's not married. Hold on, time out. Wait, because it's a
But no,
double
you're not
standard
married
here.
to
That
not married to
y'all, no,
Tom
no,
Earl.
no, no. It's a double standard here that y'all
No, no,
perpetuate
no, no. Hold on,
because
Fave.
No,
when
no, we're
y'all
Hold
not.
single,
on, Fave.
y'all know. Because when y'all single,
It's
y'all get
not
to
a double
have
standard.
all the 304s. I'm sorry, I'm finna say the word. Y'all get to have all the 304s. But when we do it, it's a
Don't get
problem.
bumped.
No, no,
No, but hold on, Fave.
we're definitely not saying
Explain
that.
to her. Explain to her.
What
It's not
what
a
we're
double standard.
saying,
Explain to her.
yeah, he's not saying that it's a double standard. Let's first give her praise for being a housewife. She became a
Mm-hmm.
housewife, even though her past life perpetuated being a 304.
Hmm.
So in her past life, while her and Meg were throwing ass up there, she was perpetuating being a 304. And she got all these little girls to think the same way until behind the scenes, she became a housewife. What Foley is saying
Mm-hmm.
is that that behavior did not leave her heart because out of man's, the first thing out of man's mind and out of man's mouth is his heart, is his mind. That's what the words say. So she's diverted back to doing the things that were acceptable in her life. And being a 304, being the head 304, being the head one in the club, getting all the money, all the attention, that's what she has now diverted back to.
Oh, okay, I get what y'all saying.
That's all he's saying. So in her head, that because there's power in that,
Yeah,
because money came from that, and opportunity came from that, which is why she got on TV and all this other stuff.
yeah.
So all of that being a 304 got her more opportunity and power.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just diverting
Okay.
back to something that's within her. Not that we ain't knocking
And
what she doing.
Cause
right.
I'm just
And
saying,
look, that's what, and that's it.
I'm divorced. So I'm gonna get it how I live it. You know what I'm
But
saying?
Hey, hey,
but
do
what
you?
I'm saying, even even the young lady, the lady that I'm speaking about, she came from that 304 lifestyle and
Yeah.
became a housewife. And
Yeah.
then the husband stopped cheating on her. And now this is her mentality. If I can control this new man, and if he doesn't have to go out and look for another woman because I have the mentality of a 304, I can handle if he wants another woman. I can not
Right.
only bring him another woman, but I can then control it. My 304 ways that I left a long time ago to be with this man, I'm reverting back to it. So that's why I say it's not a
Right.
double standard. But we can't sit here and say, that these things should be excused because look how long she put up with a cheater. Faith, you wouldn't run out and just allow some new dude, whether he's rich, famous, or whatever, to just, you now you sleeping with him, obviously. Obviously, we know Stephon knocking Cardi B down if they all on ships. Then they got multiple women there that's joining in. So it's like, what's really going on? She's reverting
Right.
back, she's going back them 304 ways, and she's more
Right.
comfortable there because if she decides or wanted to be committed to Stephon Diggs, she knows there's a great possibility that he will cheat on her again, unless she tells him, "Hey, I don't mind if you bring another woman in, and on top of that, I'll even help you get other women. I'll play with these other women. I'll take pictures with these other women. I'll let these other women call you daddy and all of these things because I'll then be in control. I won't just be getting cheated on like I did with my husband, who I got away from my 304 ways for, only to be hurt.
And
You
remember,
know what I'm
this is
saying? So
acceptable. It's acceptable culture now. Usher had a song about it. Plenty of artists had songs about menage a trois and
yeah,
threesomes. And, what's that? Neo. We talked about him last week. He's in a relationship
Oh
like
my
that
God,
now
he in a
with
relationship
that's
with everybody.
country.
I'm like,
That's contractual. Like it's
Oh my
now it's
God,
commonplace
stop.
to even do that. So because this is the culture that they want to perpetuate. This is what's
I just,
normal to
yeah,
them.
it's a lot. It's
They
too much. I don't like
it,
it. But you know
because
what?
of your
I mean,
morality. it's, it's
I hope
it's
she has
it's a
Right,
fun with
exactly.
this
morality issue.
child. That's all I
It's
gotta
a,
say. Have
it's just
fun.
it's moral. It's
Yeah,
moral.
it's
That's
a
what it boils
morality
down to.
issue.
Faith, moral.
Yeah.
Can't morally, Faith. You're not. You can't walk in the room and tell another woman, "Hey, scoot over. Let me get it. Let me get a little more bed," or "Scoot over. Let me get a little bit more cover," or "Hey, you get on the other side of him and I get on this side of him." Morally, you can't do that. But just in today's time, the mentality of like so many women I've spoken to and I speak to, it's like I told you this a long time ago, Faith, about the other young woman I was talking to, where she was like, "I'm just numb to it." She was like, I know he's doing it. I'm sick of looking for it. I'm sick of finding it. So I'm just going to live and be in the house and I'm like, wow. Like she was like, yeah, I'm not gonna try to stop him from doing it. No matter how hard I try, he's gonna keep
I'm not
doing it.
that
If I say
desperate
I'm
to
gonna
stay with
eat,
no man. I
and I'm
promise I'm
like,
not.
wow, like and you try to tell a woman, hey, you have so much to offer, you have so much, and she's like, no, because in her mind, she feels like she's not going to find anyone else, and so she just
Yeah.
becomes numb and puts up with what this guy is doing to her, and I'm like, dang, or like,
I
but
would
it's a
be by
reality.
myself,
It's a
baby. They
reality,
got
right
vibrators.
here in our hometown.
I could not.
It's right here in Memphis, man.
Could not.
I ain't talking about LA. I'm talking about right here in little old Memphis. You'll be
No, I
shocked
Yeah.
at
understand. I
some of
totally understand.
yeah.
Hey, Faith,
Uh,
flip the script. Oh, hey, Wendy. Faith, flip the script. Let's
mhm.
stop.
All right,
Let's
she was
start
stuck in.
talking about. Let's not talk about a 304. Let's talk about hustle. So you get a man. He's been moving weight, and all of a sudden, then he's like, I'm tired of this, and he gets a job making six figures. So he started working with a government contractor. He's getting six figures a year, and after about 10 years, he loses that job. What do you think he gonna do?
When he lose his
Right.
Uh
job,
huh. Perfect example. Perfect example.
wait, hold on.
he,
Say that. Wait a minute.
Perfect example.
I'm, if he
When he
moved
lose his
weight,
job,
yeah,
hmm
if he moved weight and then wanted to get into the career field, gets a career with a government job, and he gets in under Trump, and Trump is one of the jobs that he could, and he went from going to 100 grand a year to nothing. What do you think that man is gonna do? He gonna hustle.
Hold on. But hold on. Let's make it even better. He meets a professional woman. He meets a woman that's professional. So he decides, I'm going to get out of the streets because I
Hmm.
really like this woman. And I'm going to commit
Right.
my life to this woman and not be in the
And
streets
I don't want to expose her
doing.
to that.
I don't exactly. So I'm going to get away from
Hmm.
the street and I'm going to marry this woman and we have kids together. And I'm working this 9 to 5, only making 38,000 a year when I came from 100,000 a month. And then I come to find out that this woman won't stop cheating on me.
no,
This
okay.
woman is in my
I don't think
face.
nobody
This
should be
woman is
cheating
in
on
my face
nobody.
playing.
I just don't. I don't,
No, but it's what
let
I'm
me
saying.
put the record. I don't think nobody should be cheating on nobody. If you have decided that y'all gonna do this together and y'all ain't got no type of agreement to do the polyamorous thing, I don't do polyamorous. I don't share. However, if that's what y'all decide, that's what y'all want to do. That's between you and the Lord Jesus Christ and Latter Day Saints. Listen, I don't believe nobody should be cheating on nobody. You understand what I'm saying? I don't cheat on nobody. If you gonna be in a relationship and y'all decide it's gonna be y'all against the world, be y'all against the world. What
I
is the
agree.
problem? Why do you have to? Things get rough, things get tough. If things get tough, you ain't gonna find it in that lady's cooch or on that man's peen. You're not gonna find it there. I'm sorry. It's a temporary fix
But we,
for a
we know,
permanent problem.
but we know why people cheat. We know why people cheat though,
I
Faith.
know
Come
why
on.
people cheat, but
You
what
you
I'm saying is,
you
I don't
you
agree with the
too into
cheating part. Okay,
No, why
but
do
but
people cheat?
but you're being too into Faith.
I want
Wendy,
Why
to know.
you know why you know why
Wendy, it wasn't the fact of the matter that them cheating was not the subject matter. We all agree, all of us agree that cheating is wrong.
It's
It's
That
wrong.
ain't
wrong.
the issue.
Dot
Cheating
com.
is wrong.
It shouldn't
But
happen.
But he said
but
we all know why people cheat. No, I don't know why. Why people
we
cheat?
go Foley will tell you. But the problem is
Not only gonna tell you.
under the
Not
rules
only
of
gonna
their
tell you.
relationship, what she's doing now is not cheating. It's allowed.
Exactly.
Because
That's
now
what
they
I'm
have
just
Exactly.
come
saying.
up with this what is it called? It's basically polyamory, but
What?
it's this agreement that you have that I don't want to be monogamous to one person. What's that
Look
show?
at Wendy
Harlem.
face.
Harlem. So did you watch Harlem, the last season of Harlem, Wendy? Okay. At any rate, the dude, because I can't pronounce his name in real life, who played Ralph Angel on Queen Sugar, right? Fine as I don't, that boy so fine. However, I know he had them write this in the script because this is how he feel in real life. And I don't know, it's called uncommitted monogamy or something like that, right? Where I'm monogamous to you, but I still want to see other people. If that is, it's stupid. It don't make no sense. Just say you want to have multiple women. Just say you polyamorous. It just didn't make sense to me. So he had it written into the script because that's how his character was, right? He wanted to get married, but he also wanted to still see other women. And the girl that he was dating was considering it, and then she met the other lady that he was seeing, and he only saw the other lady like when he was a sports figure. He played baseball or something like that. And so the other girl deal with him when he out of town, right? So whenever he out of town, she his woman, and she was fine. She got a man at home. She do what she do with him when she on the road. She goes to the game. She there. She meet him in the hotel rooms, whatever, whatever, whatever. And he expect the wife to be at the house. And then when he come home, he at home. Kind of like Ray. Ray was like, if I'm on the road, I'm on the road. And when I'm at home, I'm at home. And B basically was like, well, okay, don't bring on the road here. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So Ray had all his 304s on the road. So at any rate, it's the same concept, right? It don't make sense to me because then why fixate yourself on one person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why be with one person and then say I want these people over here? No, if you don't want me, I don't want you. Period.
Right.
I don't and it ain't no I'm trying to possess you, I'm trying to control no situation. I don't want to be controlling. I want somebody who wants me. I want somebody who was just as crazy about me as I am about them, who wants to be in my presence and like I want to be in their presence. Period. I don't want you to say, well, I like this one over here. Like you got chocolate, I want vanilla, I want caramel. No, you need to be all about this chocolate and all up in this chocolate. That's all I'm saying. So I'm
Hold up.
just
Wait a minute. Wait a
I'm just
minute.
saying. I'm just saying. I don't need that, right? So why commit to a situation halfway or partially or whatever? And I think, I don't have a problem with what people do and what they decide they want to do. Okay. You want to sleep with him, her, them, there, they, all that stuff. Do you, boo? I'm not gonna shame you. I'm not gonna kink shame. I'm not doing none of that. But what I feel like is that a lot of people are trying to get away from, I think, responsibility more so than ever. You don't want to be responsible for anybody's feelings. You want to be responsible for anybody's heart. You don't want to be financially responsible for them. So you do things and create things so you won't have to be responsible. Now, I think some people in polyamorous relationships, they got the money to support that lifestyle. A lot of people hollering, I want to be with multiple women. Y'all ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out of, but and y'all can't support that lifestyle. So if you you coming at me talking about I want to share. The answer's no for me. It's a no for me, dog. But if you decide that that's what you want to do and you want to approach a woman and say, hey, I want this polyamorous lifestyle, you need to be able to support the polyamorous lifestyle. You need to be able to support the household. You need to be able to support all the women you want. Just my thought process. And we've gotten away from, I just hate that we've gotten away from marriage. You know, everybody want to be a side piece. Everybody want to be a sneaky link. Everybody want all of that. I can't get behind it. I hate that. It gets on my nerves. I don't want to be your sneaky link or your side piece. I don't. I really don't. I want to be the number one, the only. I'm her. She is me. You know what I'm saying? I just want that. And for whatever reason, we have romanticized player lifestyle. We have romanticized. Oh, I can have all these 304s. It's been romanticized, and a lot of y'all shoes about to fall off, or your cooch about to be out your body because you just out here letting folks stick it and do it, or you sticking it and doing it, or whatever. It's crazy. I don't even understand. It makes no sense to me. It just doesn't. It's stupid to
When
me.
Wendy, what are the
Well,
seven deadly sins? That's why
Hmm?
people cheat. What are the seven deadly sins? That's why people cheat. Pride,
I
lust,
believe
gluttony,
I
and
Greed,
greed. That's why people cheat.
Lasciviousness.
sloth.
That's one of them or not.
They
Sloth, because they
lazy.
lazy, don't
They
want to
what?
work
They
on their
cheat because they
relationship.
lazy.
See?
bro, I know
That's
this
seven
cheating,
deadly sins.
I mean, to me, I don't think
but you
you
know,
lazy if you cheat because you got to keep up with multiple people.
No,
I
it's
just think
lazy.
And
you.
you
It's
know
lazy
what?
to
Men
it's
are
lazy
not
to your
as good
partner.
as of cheaters as women are. Women are smarter when it comes to cheating.
I'm not even gonna get into that.
Why you say that, Foley? Because we be catching y'all. We be knowing y'all cheat. We be knowing. We be knowing. We be knowing. Especially them investigators, especially them SVU lawyers, them law and order, the graduates of law school of law and order.
You know, I wasn't
hey,
gonna say
women,
nothing, but I'm actually gonna say something to that. The reason why that is true is because you are looking for the emotional attachment that we are not providing anymore.
and that's why I was going to say why people cheat. Men cheat for visual thirst and desire. Women cheat for emotional loss. When they
Oh,
don't
okay.
have the emotional connection with the person
Y'all
that
don't
they're
think
with,
y'all don't
the
think we
other
like to see
man
people when we
seems to
cheating?
do
I'm
a
sorry.
a whole lot better.
So,
Okay.
Men do not cheat emotionally. Men don't cheat emotionally. They don't.
so that's
That's
why
when you
it
get
hurts men more when a woman cheats on him because he
it
knows the
hurts. It hurts a
emotional.
man's yeah. It hurts a man's ego. Men have we have
Right.
egos, right?
Right.
If
That's why we take
if
power and money away
yes,
because of
it
our ego.
men with a woman can kill a man's ego with the idea that she's out here for everybody. He
Right.
doesn't fit. Oh, what the
What
hell
she done
y'all
seen?
doing? What in the world is going on? You see that,
What happened?
bro? Get out the window, retard. Man,
Memphis.
you got them
He out in
crackheads on get
Memphis.
well. That man about to walk in my truck. You see
Oh
that?
no.
I didn't have to swerve, but yeah. So I done lost my train of thought.
About
Yeah. So
women cheating
yeah.
versus.
So men are going to cheat visually, right? I don't care how sexy or bad or beautiful your girl is. If you see a woman that's even equivalent to that, or has a little bit more to offer, and she's open to you, you gonna get it.
I got a
Men are
question.
hunters.
I got a
No, no,
question.
no, no.
Men
Hold on.
are
Hold on.
hunters.
I got a
Now,
question.
let me
We
Let
can.
me, let me, let
say,
me, let me. What about the woman that don't look as bad as the woman you got at your? Cause you know it's some that be looking busted, baby. It's some that
Hey,
be looking real basic. It's
but
some.
it's
Well,
ego. It's
she's
ego.
saying she folded
see,
we cheat down.
Faye, Faye,
It's
me and you
no.
are right there.
That's what I
Yes.
said. Hold on, let me.
Yes. Men. But listen. Have you all ever walked into a man's house? Men are hunters. We can have the biggest bear head on the wall, and yet we still go out and kill more bear. We still won't.
Even the
Chitting
ugly
down
bears.
is
That's
only
what I'm
in your
confused
opinion.
about.
It's
I just,
yes, even the ugly bear,
I'm just
because
saying, cause like,
the
what are you
cheating.
gaining after taking down a not
You can't
so bad bitch?
because
I'm just saying.
What?
you can't shoot a bear right in front of you. You have to shoot a bear from a distance. You don't see the beauty of the bear or the ugliness of the bear until you get up on it. That's
But
what
when
you
you kill him,
proving
Right.
you
his
And
say,
then,
when
point.
but
you
then,
You're actually
how you
proving his
gonna
point.
say it? When you shoot it and you say, hey, that bear look a little scrawny. Let me leave that bear on the ground.
but listen to
That
this.
bear is
But listen to
ugly in the
this.
mug. It's not gonna look good on my wall. Let
But no,
me
but it still don't stop the fact that he's killed the bear.
He still
Look,
shot.
I was
He
gonna
still
post
killed
something
the
today
bear.
where it's a post that said the woman said, "Oh, you have a small penis." He said, "I still hit though." She said, "Oh, you ain't got no money, you broke." He said, "I still hit though." She said, "Oh, you ain't talking about nothing. Ain't no woman gonna want you after me." He said, "I still hit though."
A win
So
is a
when you
win.
get done talking,
A win is a
I don't
win.
care what you do, men still hit. It's the women. It's the women. I'm telling y'all. That's why y'all when y'all say how you cheat on me with that ugly girl, she's ugly to you, but not
now
to him.
see,
She's ugly to you.
no,
It's
no,
just
no.
like
Time out. Time out,
no.
Foley. Time the hell out. Time the hell out. No,
I'm telling
Foley,
you.
I'm not accepting that. No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
being
no, 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 no,
real.
no, no. Foley. Listen to where I'm coming from. If you got somebody that look like Shanae, okay, you mean
Okay.
Yeah,
tell me, and you got somebody. Let me do this. You got somebody that looks like Nia Long versus
Okay.
Shanae. You got Nia Long at the
yeah,
house,
yeah.
and Shanae, and you mean tell me, nah,
Because you're thinking
But did you
about,
hear me?
you
Did you hear
remember
me in the
men
y'all
are
are
beginning?
visual. You
we're
are visual creatures.
that's the
No,
whole,
no, you can't
not
say you
just
visual.
face, not
What?
just face. Body
Not just
counts
face. You're not
too.
listening.
Not
Yes,
just
body.
face.
You're not listening. It's men get caught when they try to deal with the baddest. Oh, I'm out here dealing with, I got all my women are tens. Yeah, and you're about to lose every single one of them.
Every single
Men
one of them.
cheat. Men cheat based on visual desire. That's why I said if this woman over here remotely has a little bit more ass or a little bit more titties,
But
he's
look like
gonna hunt
Wanda
that.
in the face. You go,
And that woman can be the most butt ugliest person in the world. He
they
is
call it
going
booger
to hit.
wolves.
He go and be a booger wolf. Be a booger wolf. And women say,
Man.
how can
I
he
just
do that?
can't.
How can he cheat on that beautiful woman with this? And the
I
man
know a
sitting there
particular
like, yeah.
situation. Yeah, we do too. Oh, I know a particular situation, and every time I see a picture of that girl on that darn timeline, I be like, "Why, sir, did you do that? Why? Why?"
Yeah,
Okay.
Look,
because
Woo,
men are
no.
visual, women emotional.
I
It's you, and you know what? And you know what's crazy? Whenever you see a woman who had a very nice man in her life, for some reason, the man that she goes to and falls in love with after that nice man, he's always a goofy or he's an extra lame looking dude. And most of her friends will be like, "Okay, girl, I'm happy you moving on, but damn, this was your choice." You get what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm.
it goes both ways. But like I said, to me, men cheat for visual desire. Women cheat for emotional disconnect or emotional loss. When they can't connect with the man, your work boo, you see him 8 hours. Your homeboy who y'all done probably grew to know each other. All of these guys start looking a whole lot better emotionally than the one that you're dealing with because that connection isn't there. But a man, we don't need the connection. It doesn't have to be a connection emotionally. If you got a fat ass or some big titties, we about to play ball.
Win is a
And
win.
we gonna go home to Neil. We gonna go home to Neil Long
Not a
and be
win.
like, "Hey, baby,
Not a win is a win. Okay. Scree said something I've seen is a man chooses to have XYZ, a woman leaves him for cheating. Then the woman starts giving newbie XYZ. The ex man gets mad and everybody thinks he's mad because she moved on, but mad if she would have been doing that, he might not have cheated. But if you don't give me the option to do that in this situation, I don't think that Cardi I don't particularly know if Cardi would have been down for that with Offset. But what I do
No.
know is if you had to
But
give
why
me the
not?
option. A lot of times we're not as complicated as y'all feel like we are. If you give me the option, my answer might be no, but I got an option. Give me the option to tell me what it is ahead of time. A lot of times I want to know. I want to know so I can know how to move because I'm gonna move just like you move,
So
just like you.
so after you
So
say no, after you say no, is it okay for me to go on
Then
out here
what?
and get
no, it's
what I'm
not.
looking
I'm
for?
not saying that. I don't like I said, I don't believe Cardi would have done that. Let me I'm saying that's me personally. But what I'm saying as far as this is concerned, he didn't give Cardi the option to do that. He just we gonna be together. It's me and you. We're not bringing no outside stuff. I'm not gonna cheat on because I'm sure if the script had been flipped, that nigga would be flipping out even more than he is now. Real talk. So I don't think he ever presented the option to her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be spazzing out like the way she was because you see what she doing now. He
Yeah.
never brought that option to when they were dating. He didn't bring that option to the table. When they
But
got married, he didn't bring that. It was never a discussion on the table for her to make a decision in that instance. You get what I'm saying? So
Mm.
if she is the 304 and you felt like 304 going 304, then I'm pretty sure she probably would have been open to something. Maybe not everything, but he never had the conversation. And then you went behind my back and did everything, and I'm having to find out about it after the fact. So all of that, you embarrassing me, you making me look crazy. It's crazy. I'm in here being a housewife, and you out here dipping it and doing it with whoever is gonna give it to you. You get what I'm saying? So no, I
Right.
don't 100% agree with that. I don't.
yeah. I
But
mean,
I
we
mean,
we
but
didn't agree.
that's basically yeah, it boils down to that. That's what it boils
Yeah,
down to. She
Yeah.
she got away from a certain lifestyle to try and be a better woman as a whole to him.
Right.
Because she could have easily married Offset and still been a 304. It's a lot of women that still 304s and got husbands. I know one out of Atlanta. She's like the biggest 304, but she's married and the husband is cool with her lifestyle. And
yeah.
I mean, I'm like, some men not cut like that. Some men will lose their
Like it
wig
ain't
if they
nothing.
wife, yeah, they wife outside blowing another man down, then come in the house like dinner ready. You'd be like, wait a minute. But he's like, yeah, this is what she
I'm
do. If
one of those
he can
fellas.
go out there, he
What?
can go out there and eat a couple cream pies.
No,
He can
you
eat some
not.
cream pies. I'm like,
No, you not.
I am one of those
yeah,
fellas. The one, the fighter. That's me. That's me.
you
I beat
Oh,
ass.
definer. Okay, I
I'm the
thought you
fighter.
were saying
Yeah.
you was one that was gonna let the wife go. Do I was like, no, you not. Don't
No, no,
say.
no,
Don't get
no.
on the
I'm the
book
guy
I was
that
gonna
can't
say,
and
wait a
handle
lie.
it.
minute.
I can't handle it.
Don't get on here and lie to the people. Um.
Yeah.
All right. So emotional intelligence is the next subject. Um.
Good segue.
Huh?
This is a great segue from
Emotional
not.
intelligence.
Yeah.
Um. So there's a show that I watch because I watch a lot of stuff, or maybe a lot of stuff watch me, and I have to go back and rewatch it. It's this show that's on Netflix called Forever. It's a
It's good.
teen love story, but they instead of doing YT people, they did black people on it, and I love the dynamic of the story. But what I most enjoyed was the emotional intelligence of one of the fathers in the story. So there's a girl and a boy that they went to kindergarten together. They reconnected in high school at a New Year's Eve party, and they get together, and they have some ups and downs, some teenage BS. Of course, it ain't always um it ain't always pretty. Y'all know how high school love work. Grown up folk stuff is messier than high school stuff, right? um
Yes.
but what I do know is what I enjoyed was his father, first of all, navigating the relationship between him and his mother, because he was married. His wife was a lot, and his daddy was laid back and cool. Opposites attract. They kind of balanced each other out, right? But he was able to police that relationship between that mother and that son, because it was some stuff that boy said to his mom, and I was like, "Are you a black mama?" I wanted to smack her. Yeah, but she was on it. She was on it. She was on him. She was on that boy like white on rice. But I was like, I would have popped him in the mouth right then and there. But I know we can't show that on TV. But I definitely would have been like, pop, quickly, without even thinking. Y'all know me. So, but his father had emotional intelligence and he had conversations man to man with his teenage son. um he did, it was one scene where he came in the room and he had told his parents, I want to invite, the girl over to hang out. And so his dad, as soon as he said that, right, his mama happy because first of all he go to a school with the majority of YT people, right? And he didn't pick the black girl. That was her only rule. We're gonna put you in these situations, but I want a black daughter-in-law. That's what I want. That's what.
Okay.
Okay, that was her only rule. She let some stuff go when she found out he was doing all this crazy stuff for a black girl. He was like, oh, he did it for what? A black girl. They had me rolling. So she the dad came in the room and threw a condom at him and a cucumber and said, okay, put it on. And he was like, what? He said, hey man, we gotta practice this because when time comes, you gotta be ready, Then he threw him another condom and closed the curtains. It was like, now try again. He was like, why am I doing all this? He said, you're doing all this because you never know what's gonna happen in the moment. And you gotta be prepared for that moment. He had another conversation with him about communication. He said, if you talk to your mama and communicate with your mom better than what you were doing, y'all relationship would be better. Basically, is what he was saying. So he was dropping gems throughout the whole series. And I was like, this man right here is the black father that everybody needs, right? He having conversations. All right, you blocked the girl, you mad at her, but she here. So what you gonna do? Do you still love her? You still care about her? Reach out to her, talk to her, hear her side of the story. See what he was having real conversations with his son. And I was like, I appreciate this. And people need to see this, like on the larger scale. Like we need to see more emotionally intelligent fathers pouring into their sons and teaching them emotional intelligence, right? So I want to, and I think you made a post today about not wanting to argue, hearing the other person out, not crashing out, not acting a fool, that sort of thing, and dealing with it instead of automatically going to the deep end. Some people go from 0 to 100 real quick instead of having a conversation and working it out and taking a minute because I ain't got to have a conversation with you right then. Because if I'm mad, I might say, and that's how I operate. If I'm mad at that moment, I'm gonna say something that I might not be able to take back. So give me a minute to calm down so we can have
Mhm.
emotionally intelligent conversation to get past it. So I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on emotional intelligence as it relates to a relationship.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Who first? Who first?
Wendy, she's been the quiet one.
Um, it's important. If you don't have any kind of emotional intelligence, I can't deal with you because it's like I'm dealing with someone that's really young, and it's not at my level of emotional intelligence. I can't. It's important. It's important. It's just important.
So that phrase, emotional intelligence, it's like this nuanced word. But Wendy just brought up a good point. I'm intelligent in math, but I'm not intelligent in finance. Or I can be a savant, but I may not know how to read. Like intelligence is such a broad spectrum,
Mhm.
and she said something key for her. If you're not emotionally, because I can be emotionally intelligent and be dry. Like, okay, well, do A, B, and C and be done with it. And because I held back my emotions in situations that are dire to other people, they may look at that as, man, that man dry. So would you want to be with somebody that handle things in a dry manner?
That ain't
That's
that, that
the
ain't what I'm
the
saying.
No,
Mm-mm.
no, no. I'm talking about the difference. Like now that people are starting to understand what emotional intelligence is, it's still going to be subjective, based on the person.
Let me say what I feel like emotional intelligence is. Emotional intelligence is knowing when to use emotion and when not to. Get what I'm saying? I don't
Hmm.
want to be with somebody who, at the sign of trouble, you crash out. I can't do that. I'm gonna check out of the situation like that. You know, if it's a situation that calls for comfort, if there's a situation that calls for embracing, if there's a situation, you need to understand when to use your emotions. That's what I think emotional intelligence is. I don't think that means you don't show any emotion. I think that, okay, I'm upset. I recognize I'm upset. Before I say the wrong thing, before I go ham, before I start busting windows out of cars, let me go sit in the corner for a minute, calm down. You get what I'm saying? When is it? It's when to utilize your emotions and when not to go too far with your emotions. Women are super emotional. You're saying you hear me out. Understand what I'm saying? Understand what I'm saying? If you are hurt, right? If you hurt, if Rashida was to come in and say something to you and it was very hurtful, you might cry, you might whatever. A lot of times when guys don't necessarily want to argue. Now these YNs they do, but yeah, in our generation, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna go take a drive. Y'all gonna leave the room. Y'all gonna do something different. To me, that's emotional intelligence because some guys might pop out. Some dudes, it because they don't know how to utilize emotional intelligence, they don't know how to apply it to situations. They end up putting hands on women. Do you get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's the balance. You got to know when to balance your emotions and control them. And a lot of people don't have control over their emotions, men and women now, because now you see there are a lot of men. It's been going on, but now even more so now than ever. I just saw a woman. Her she had 10 kids and her husband unalived her. You get what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
and had been abusing her for many years because he didn't know how to control his emotions with whatever it is. And it's a deeper issue, I think. But a lot of times, the things that we have glorified, I'm busting windows out of cars, I'm keying that girl car, I'm keying this dude car, I'm gonna put this on a billboard so everybody can see this man been cheating on me for da 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 da. All of that has to do for me emotional intelligence. You have to be able to be a critical thinker in certain situations. And sometimes we human, we miss it. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is a lot of times people are willing. The last situation that I was in, that man wanted me to do crazy stuff. Apparently, I felt like he did. He was surprised at some of the reactions that I had to some of the stupid stuff that he did. He want to talk about it. Now, nigga, you don't want me to talk to you right now. That ain't what you want. I need you to give me a minute. Give me a couple of days. I'll get back with you. I wouldn't talk to that man for a couple of weeks and he'd be going crazy. Like, why she not talking to me? You know why I'm not talking to you. But if I talk to you right now, it's gonna be ugly. And I don't need it to be ugly because this is a relationship that I care about preserving at the time. I care about preserving. So I'm not finna be the toxic woman and acting a fool and going off because you done did something. Okay, give me a minute. Hold on, let me think before I say something that I might not be able to take back or something that's gonna make the situation worse. And a lot of times we don't do that. We going for the jugular. Okay, how low can I go? You gonna go low, I'm gonna go to hell. That's really how we as a society operate.
Mhm.
It's
The,
blow
the
I
up.
only
don't operate like that. But
Nah.
go ahead.
The only reason why I brought it up, I'm looking at the definition of the word. You said critical thinking. Critical thinking has a definition. Love has a definition. They
Correct.
loosely use it, but it has a definition. 304 has a definition. We all agree what a 304 look like. We don't all agree what emotional intelligence is because even in your definition, you said I, 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 I. But some of those views I didn't share.
Well,
So
I
that
look.
that's I'm just attacking the word. Like it needs to be, to me, it needs to be concrete on what emotional intelligence is defined as, and that
Okay.
be the standard, and people just build on it.
Now I just went on to Chat GTP and I asked
Come
them
on,
to
Chat GPT.
There
explain
it is.
emotional intelligence. And it says emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, and effectively express your own emotions, as well as the ability to understand and interpret and respond to the emotions of others.
Now, Wendy, I don't know what happened.
Right when she was giving a good definition.
Right, she was giving a definition. There she goes.
But
She back.
what
I
She
was
back.
like, well, you know
It
what?
had went away. We don't know.
You
Give
know
your
what?
definition again, friend.
Yeah, you froze again. What happened? It might be her
yeah,
internet.
uh-huh. But what she
Yeah.
is explaining is the definition in which I
Okay,
spoke
here
about
it
in the
goes.
podcast.
Here I go. I'm sorry. I had to make
Here is
sure.
your go ahead.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It says emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, manage, and effectively express your own emotions, as well as the ability to understand, interpret, and respond to the emotions of others. It typically involves five key components. Self-aware, self-awareness is one, recognizing your own emotions and how they
Mm-hmm.
affect your thoughts and behavior. People with high self awareness are usually very conscious of their emotional states. Self
Mm-hmm.
regulation is the second one. Managing your emotions in healthy ways, controlling impulsive feelings and behaviors, managing stress, and adapting to changing circumstances. The third one is
Mm-hmm.
motivation, and it is being driven to achieve for the sake of achievement. This includes internal motivation, resilience, and setting and pursuing goals with enthusiasm. The fourth one is empathy, understanding the emotions, needs, and concerns of others. This is crucial for building relationships, navigating social situations, and avoiding misunderstandings. And the fifth one is social skills, managing relationships to move people in desired directions, whether in leading, negotiating, or working as part of a team. And it says, in short,
That's
emotional intelligence is about being emotionally smart, not just recognizing feelings, but using that insight to guide thinking and behavior in positive, constructive ways.
I'll take that.
now that is the perfect definition book wise. But
In these streets.
emotional intelligence, yeah, emotional intelligence. What me, Faith, I don't know if you remember, me and you talked about it a long time ago, and I called it shadow work.
Yeah.
You remember about that?
Yeah.
Shadow work is the definition of emotional intelligence when it comes to relationships. Now, I agree with everything that everyone's saying. Words can always be forgiven, but never forgotten, right?
Right.
So it's always always great to be mindful of what you say. But we are humans and we say and do things sometimes in the spur of the moment, not even knowing the extent of the damage of the things that we might have said or done. Uh, I've been to a place in my life where I look back, and when I say shadow work, is when you turn the mirror on yourself. You turn the mirror and you look at yourself. What was I, or how was I in this relationship with this person? Could
Yeah.
I have chose a better way of discussing things that I did not like? Could
Mhm.
I have more empathetic to the trauma that this person might have experienced
Yeah.
before walking into my circle of energy? Everyone doesn't like clowns, right? But if I love clowns and you hate clowns or you're scared of clowns, but you put up with it because you love me and I ridicule you because you don't like clowns, I am not being empathetic to you as a
Right.
person.
Right.
That right there can scar you emotionally. So when it comes to an emotional, intelligent person, it's the maturity and understanding of doing shadow work. You have to look at what you or what position you played in the relationship with the other person. Like I said, I became a monster. And Faith, you've known me since high school. Uh oh, my phone.
Yep.
Okay.
Since
I got no
since
power
middle
mode, y'all.
school. Since
I got
junior
no
high
power.
school. What you say? Your
I know,
phone?
right? So my phone, man.
I'm so tired of using the
But
phone.
Faith, you've been knowing me for, I know, right? But you've been knowing me for forever. And I don't know if you've ever known me to be an angry guy
No.
or evil guy.
No.
You've known me pretty much as the laugh. I'm funny. We all would trip in school. But
Right.
there was someone who I had an emotional connection with who had a very traumatic upbringing.
Mhm.
So there were a lot of times that trauma that they experienced, I didn't understand it. And so I ridiculed them about it. Not on purpose, but trying to say, no, why, and it just wouldn't pan out. And it turned me into a monster because that person would not only attack with words, that person would attack me physically. And it forced me to respond not only with words, but to respond physically.
Hmm.
And it were times where things were bad. I mean, fist through walls, back and body through doors, windows and glass broken. I mean, it was, and this was for years.
Yeah.
It's easy for someone to say, "Hey, get away from that," but when you're emotionally attached to it,
Right.
you think it's going to get better, but it's really a place of, I mean, it's just making you a monster.
Yeah.
And so after the final thing took was a knife. And it got a whole lot worse than the knife, but the knife made me realize that I have to get away from this, or somebody's going to die.
Yeah.
I have to get away from this. And when I got away from that, yeah, it took a long time to kind of get or find myself. But
Yeah.
I read the book Shadow Work, and it allowed me to become more intelligent as to how to turn the mirror on myself and say, what were the things that I did? What were the things that I said? Was I
Yeah.
empathetic towards their feelings? Did I
Yeah.
understand that instead of ridiculing them, I probably should have uplifted them, or probably should have stayed away from subjects that they didn't, that triggered them. Triggers is
Yeah.
one, you know? And so I think now, as an emotionally intelligent person, I do find myself thinking first. Like even with Cardi B, you get what I'm saying? I am not judging her. I just know that mentality due to the fact that I talk and I've dealt with women,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just like how the example choose a man who was a hustler but changed his life for a woman, the woman does him dirty. He results back to
Back to
his
hustling.
hustle.
Yeah. 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 I got you.
And and, and it's not a judgment on Cardi B. She just is reverting back to that space of where she's comfortable and safe. And if that involves one man, two men, five women, hey, that is her reverting back in her time of pain. So it's me, I'm looking at it in empathy, and I'm like, wow, Cardi, I want you to do better. I don't want you to deal with no man that got
Right.
ultimate with multiple women.
Right.
I don't want you to be cheating on me, and I don't want you to be 304. But if this is all you know, I have to turn the mirror onto myself. What would
Yeah.
I do if someone break me down over time? And
Yeah.
that is what she went through. So I think that is definitely the definition of the emotional intelligence when it comes to relationships. It's the shadow work. The definition, of course, is like broad, but the shadow work is the most important. And I think that father that you're looking at, his emotional intelligence obviously comes from a place of experience.
Yeah.
He's obviously telling his son and showing his son these are the ways that you need to handle situations
Yeah.
instead of blocking her. Talk about it instead of
Yeah.
diverting it and going quiet. Express it, but
Yeah.
express it with the understanding that she may not understand where you're coming from with it, but if you're able to express it and be empathetic enough with her, she can then say, okay, he understands me. Now, this don't mean y'all gonna be the perfect couple, but at
Right.
least that side of that relationship or whatever you're going through with this girl, or you can deal with it rather than because I hate when people say just block them and forget them. You're not blocking somebody is not dealing with it. It's
Ooh.
the uh, it what you're doing is you're trying to erase history, and you can't,
No,
because what
Okay.
you're
not
ultimately
really.
you're going to take that trauma from that last relationship into
And
your
take it to
next
the
one.
next relationship. I
Right.
agree
It
with
hadn't
that
been dealt with.
because
Right.
you haven't dealt with it.
Exactly. It hasn't been dealt with. It has not been dealt with. So I can block you. I can act like you don't exist. But if I have not shadow worked, and if I have not healed, the moment this other chick or this other guy shows a red flag, you immediately are going to revert back to what tore your heart out in that last relationship. And that person's going to look at you and say, I didn't do that. That's why I say shadow work allows you to heal and become a better emotional person. And then you
Um.
can deal.
I must be
So,
built from a different cloth
well, no,
because
no, no, no. Because I did. The last person I talked to was blocked. On everything. He was good and blocked. We had a conversation recently where he apologized for everything that he did, and we came to an understanding. Now we ain't finna. I'm not gonna be a monkey's ass twice. I'm not gonna do that. But
That's fine.
but you know, all I really wanted from that situation was an apology. Because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
deserve a lot of the stuff that was coming my way. I didn't
mm,
deserve
Yeah.
it.
Right,
I didn't deserve it.
right.
And I understand that he had some things that he was dealing with and still deals with to this day that didn't have anything to do with me. um I just was there, and a lot of times when people aren't in the best of places in life, they take it out on the closest people to them, and I was the
Mm.
punching bag for that point in time. So I get that part. You know what I'm saying? Now again, that don't mean I'm finna go back down that road. It just means that conversation need to be had. Now certain situations, I think it might take an act of God to get you into a place of forgiveness for people, because there's certain situations where people have done things to folks, and I do think they need to do some work, to get past whatever their trauma is. Um,
Mm.
but in that, um, if there are some things that people do to you, like attempted murder, I don't think I'd be able to do no shadow work and get past that, because you tried to take me out of here. I think you need to stay over there, and I'm gonna stay over here. You know what I'm saying? Sa,
But
I can't get behind that
you
part. You know what I'm saying?
but you would
You
still
don't
need to
have to
get past
forgive
it though.
some. Yeah, because you don't have
Yeah.
to forgive
You don't
anybody
have
and
to.
they be in your space.
No, no, no. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there I know there would be some type of help that I would have to get past the trauma. I'm not saying leave the trauma there. What I'm saying is I don't know that I would be able to have the same conversation with somebody who have done, you know, vicious acts of violence towards me, if that makes sense. That I, work through that for my emotional intelligence to move forward in a different space. But I'm not them people blocked. They blocked for a
But
reason. You get what I'm saying?
but have you seen that, like, even in some murder trials, family members find that closure and space and speaking to the
And
murderer,
forgiving.
because it'll be and like I said, this is not for everybody. So
It
it's
ain't.
easy
It
to
ain't for
say
me.
you somebody I love, or you tried to kill me, you don't exist, I hate your guts, you're impossible, you're the worst human being ever. That's easy, right? You just like blocking. I can block you. I just can't stand you. I'm blocking you. But what did you ultimately end up doing? You ultimately end up having a conversation with this person. So, like I said, just the shadow work that I've realized after going through everything and now in the space that I'm in, the shadow work is now I pay attention when things start to turn into what we call toxic and red flags. And that's even
Yeah.
with even with people like homeboys that
Yeah.
I'm cool with. If I
Yeah.
see things starting to turn toxic, or it's starting to kind of turn me into someone that I'm not unfamiliar with, I
Yeah.
will sit back and I will say, what am I contributing to this situation? Oh, okay, I carry myself like this. And sometimes the way I carry myself may intimidate this person
Yeah.
over here. And so, you know what? Let me either scale back, or either let me address it and say, hey, I carry myself like this. Is that a problem, or what? And it opens the door for them to say, yeah, man, I don't like somebody that got a beard. Well, damn, I didn't know that. I grew my beard because I like it. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
I just think that has been a very important part of my growth, and it's given me the ability to even speak and help other people, because you'll be shocked at how many people are um, unfamiliar with the shadow work, and
Yeah.
they are so quick to blame the other person for the failed relationships. It's not
Yeah.
always the other person. Sometimes you knew the baggage that was coming with that person. You just
Child.
didn't
You
know how
just
to handle it.
overlooked it. Or
Yeah,
you are the person who is the problem in the situation. They might not even be the problem. You the problem, and you blame the other person
yeah,
for the problem that you have created or caused. Yeah.
right.
So I
Uh-huh.
guess
And so I think
one of the I'm sorry, go ahead, folks.
no. I like no. I was just gonna say, and I think that's the emotional intelligence of once of growth of relationships. That is.
Yeah.
I think from the definition that Wendy read, like I've been pondering this question, so probably one of our subjects needs to be that people without emotional intelligence, do they have morality? And if you're an immoral person, like,
Mm.
do you deserve to be in a relationship with people? Because based on what she
Well,
said,
I think
in the definition, you got to have morality in order to have empathy.
Mm.
And if you're not
well, I mean,
empathetic,
I think, but everyone, I think everyone deserves a relationship. Everyone deserves love. It may just not come from me. It may, you know what I'm saying. So like, I may be a morale person. You know, I'll be morale, but if she's not morale, if her standards are low, and she accepts anything, and like the mentality, like I explained about the woman earlier, if she's that type of woman and does not have those type of morality qualities and things like that, hey, she deserves to have the guy, and he's a lucky man to have a woman like that. But that's just not somebody I'm going to see myself with. So I
Yeah.
always think, and like even when I speak to other women and I say, hey, you deserve better. You deserve better. You deserve what you desire. You deserve a man that treats you right, committed, loves you, doesn't talk crazy to you, doesn't beat you, uh, is committed to you. You deserve all of those things, right? But until you move in the fashion of those things you want, you're going to keep on receiving the nonsense and the BS. You're going to keep on being emotionally broken. You're going to keep on
Yeah.
getting emotionally damaged. You're going to keep on
Yeah.
getting attacked. You have to move in the way that you want. You got to move in the way that you want. But that don't mean you won't have nobody. It's going to be somebody out there.
It's always
It's
gonna be
going to be
somebody, child.
somebody for you.
Somebody gonna wish they was in that other person's shoes, honey.
I
Lurking in the
guarantee you. I
background.
guarantee you. So you can be the most immoral woman or dude in the world, and you will find yourself a Harley Quinn just right there with you, crazy as hell, and both of
Oh
y'all
Lord.
crazy as hell. But
Wasn't she crazy? She was just crazy as he was.
yeah, they
Yeah.
found each other.
But she loved
So
the
you
hell
know,
out of him.
She
She
loved that
and
man
she
so
loved
loved the
the
hell out
hell.
of him. And you would sit there and be like, man, there's no way in hell I can be with a broad like that, or I can be with a nigga like that.
but it's
But
people
they
that do that
have
every day.
right.
They do it every day.
Yep. And so I believe it. I believe there's somebody for everybody, and in some cases, there's multiple people for somebody. So it just works like that to me. I see it, and I kind of shake my head like, okay, if they
Okay.
like it, I love it. But, like, damn, you
And keep it
and
pushing.
It was
I,
it was a Sinbad episode. It was a Sinbad comedy show, and he was talking about how he was married for like 11 years. They got a divorce. Then 10 years later, they got back together and got remarried. And he was like, I can deal with your crazy. I just couldn't deal with anybody else's crazy. Your
No.
crazy, I knew.
Right. He went out there and he
that's the
saw,
show. He
it's crazier
said
people
you.
than her. Let me go back to what I know.
Yeah, that's the judge. He said he's sitting across the table from the young chick, and he said he be having the stroke. She gonna be
Yeah,
like,
he's
"Stop
like, you
making
need to get
faces
somebody
at
that
me."
knows the sign of a stroke. Talking about why you making
Yeah,
faces
he said,
at
"I'm
me.
having a stroke." He said, "She wants your house. She don't want you. She wants your house when you
She
die."
wants you to
Yeah,
die.
but
She wants you to die.
Hmm.
yeah, I believe, like I said, I believe there is somebody for everybody, even the ones that are not emotionally intelligent. There's somebody out here for them, and unfortunately, sometimes over those relationships are the ones we seem to see on these podcasts and talk about all the time. So, that's just the way of the world now. Everybody, that's the way of the world.
All right.
Hmm.
We got one more
Yeah.
topic. How many balls you got on your little phone? I'm tired of you.
Ooh, I'm on.
Send that man a power
I'm on.
bank.
I'm on
Oh my
9.
God.
This is crazy.
Nine
Okay, so
percent.
I'm gonna do this. We're gonna try to do this real quick. I'm on nine
All
percent.
right.
Um, Healing from your past before jumping into a new situation. A lot
Necessary.
of guys, what you say?
Necessary.
A lot of guys, though, women too, but a lot of it. I had a friend who said, if my wife died, I'm getting married the next week because I just can't be alone. I was like, what? I can't get you. You can't. You ain't gonna take no time to heal. That's a big thing. If your wife passed, you know. And I made a post on my page. Um, I made a post on my page a while back about getting over, a past relationship because a lot of people feel like, well, a lot of times things just don't work out. That doesn't mean you're not hurt from that situation not working out. That doesn't mean you don't need to take a beat to come, to get your bearings from that previous situation. It might not have been a bad relationship, but you might have wanted it to work and it didn't work. And so a lot of the guys were like, well, I just go get another girl. And I'm like, wait a minute, we don't take the time. And I know women like that too. I know I got homegirls that they always keep one in the chamber. If this don't work out, they going on to the next. But whatever the situation is that you were dealing with could have definitely been a situation to where you know you needed to get over that situation because now you're bringing past drama, trauma, whatever that you had to do. A lot of people was like, everything is not traumatic. Well, you might have a fear that situation didn't work out. You might have a fear that you're carrying on. You might have different things that you're dealing with from that situation. It could have been an abusive situation, it could have been a verbally abusive situation. A lot of people don't look at verbal abuse as abuse. It could have been an emotionally abusive situation. We don't look at the bigger picture all the time. We just say, oh, it just didn't work out. It didn't work out for a reason sometimes. And sometimes we have to deal with it and we don't do the work and then we jump into a new relationship. So I want to hear from everybody if possible. I want to let Foley go first in case his phone died. I'm so
Yeah,
tired of
let
you
me
and his
go.
phone.
Well,
My
let
child
me
said, get
just
a charger.
I'm gonna take my ass to the gas station, give you a quote. Okay, so of course, Faith, we talked about healing and so
Mhm.
forth. I think people don't take the time to heal because of the simple thing of options. If I have the options either in my inbox, in my DMs, or this guy's been waiting on the opportunity for you to mess up, or this chick has always liked me and I finally have the single relationship tag, I could easily move on. People have options these days. And so if you want to sit back and tell somebody to heal, like I knew this one girl got her heart tore out like on like a Sunday, and the chick was made up and on a date Wednesday, and I think by Saturday she had already slept with the guy, and they were moving into trying to make it work. Now you're talking about 1 week after she had got her heart tore out of a 6 year relationship, I think.
Yeah.
And people say, "Oh man, she must have had dude the whole time." Probably not, but the option of that man was
It's
there.
there.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so, and men do the same thing. Men be in relationships, and soon as one girl don't meet the quota that we wanted to meet, man, I'm about to go ahead and shot on this chick, or either, especially the girl that like me, I'm gonna go ahead and accept that message now. Now I'm gonna flirt a little bit back, and I'm gonna do
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, Z. I just boils down. People don't heal because of options. And if I still got options and I can move on from you, or I can go on dates to try to get over you, I'm going to do that before I take any time to heal. It's just an easy way that people do things nowadays, unfortunately.
Mm.
Okay.
Go
So
ahead and put my name. Yeah, look, me, I got a cousin. The woman after Rashida don't hate me. I just want you to know, cause I'm gonna be comparing you to my wife, and you gonna hate me. I just put in public record. You're not gonna like me, cause I'm looking for another Rashida. I have a cousin who is just turned 50. Her husband died maybe 5 years ago, and her name is on the placard next to him. You know what that means? She's not going to remarry.
How
If
long they
her
been married?
name is already on the tombstone next to him and he already gone, that means she's not going to remarry. Sign me up for that. Sign me up for that. I've been married to Rashida almost 28 years.
Yeah,
Sign me up for that. Ain't
yeah.
nobody's going to match what I already know.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
it's impossible. So just go ahead and put my name on the marker right next to hers. I'm one of
Yeah.
those people. I'm going to die of a broken heart before I get married
I know a
again.
couple that did. One of my homeboys, he was the baby of 18 kids, right? Him, he and his sisters, he got nieces and nephews that's older than him, which is crazy because he had, his siblings were older. So
Hmm.
he came to school. We had to teach him, and I have another friend who both of them were menopause babies. So we had to teach them how to wash their clothes because their mamas did everything for them, right? And so um his mom and dad died a month apart. They went in the hospital at the same time, and I think daddy might have gone first and then mama went after. It might have been the other way around, but they died within a
Hmm.
month of each other. They had been married for like a gazillion years at this point because he was the
Hmm.
baby of 18. Okay.
Yeah.
Just think about that. And they had been together for all their time. So I've literally seen that they
Uh,
died from a broken heart. I've seen it.
I
and
think
don't get
that
it
Mm.
twisted. I'm a young man. I'm still under 50. I'm 46 years old. So I have a whole lifetime to remarry. But will I?
No, I
Nah.
don't believe you will, friend. I don't
well,
believe you will.
Nah.
I would say this. If
Get
I
out of
didn't
here.
if
It's
I
not
didn't have
wrong.
my son, I probably would have died of a broken heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because when my husband passed, I had to literally think about my son.
Yeah.
I
Mm,
had to literally think about my son. And it will be what it's been what it's just what is 11 years since he passed. And it's hard out there.
mm,
It is. It's hard. And I'm going to therapy because I have that phobia. Because I watched my husband take his last breath and I
Yeah.
saw how traumatic it was. And I knew he did not want to die alone. So I sacrificed my sanity just to make sure he was at peace. And it was traumatic.
Yeah.
And and it's like now I have this wall because I don't know if I want to go through that again or not.
Right.
right.
But I
Yeah.
know that if I get married again, it's gonna be till death do us part. So that means one of us gotta go.
Mm.
And
Hopefully,
so
hopefully unwillingly
Yeah.
instead
Man,
of willingly.
I
I'm doing this with you.
yeah, I can only fathom, or I can't fathom, um, that. You know, but you know, let's not get too
deep.
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So,
Hey, it's Talk to Me
uh,
Tuesday. This what happens
healing,
sometimes.
healing after, healing after. I think we all four of us are of sound mind that we will heal after.
Yeah.
Miss Wendy, I'm pretty sure that you are still healing. Faith, you're healing. Hey, we all are
and
healing.
and this is what gets
And
me
so,
because I have friends who was like, what's going on with you? You need to get over it. You need to get over it. I have a friend, her sister, husband passed, and she's in a new relationship.
yeah,
And I have a cousin, her husband was shot in the yard in front of her.
God, no.
And then 2 years later, she's with another relationship, and now they got 2 kids together, besides the kids that she got.
But you're not hearing what you're saying.
yeah,
You said you had friends that thought that way. Those are not the people that you need for your situation in your life.
Right.
So that you moved on from that type of mentality.
Yeah. But
right.
it's just they you really made me think there was something wrong with me because I was still
Mm-mm.
grieving.
No, you don't.
No.
You don't. You can't.
Mm,
I hate when people do that. I hate
yeah,
when people
that's
say,
what. Yeah,
you need to get over
yeah,
that. No, what you mean I need to get over it? I would never tell any of my friends that's lost their parents they need to get over it. I, I remember somebody said to somebody they lost their child. They said that to them. I said, "How dare you do that? Like, why would you say that to that person? That's a life that you brought into this world that you can't get back. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Your mom and your dad. Let me tell y'all something. Understand this? Something happened to Vic Wayne. Don't you tell me to get over it. Oh, it might be some furniture moving up in this mug. I talk to them every day.
But
I talk to them
imagine,
every day.
Faith, imagine losing your dad and your husband within 6 months of each other.
I know. I remember
Yeah.
that. I
You
remember you going
remember?
through it. So that's what I'm saying. For people to tell you to get over it, I hate when people do that. You cannot put a time frame on my grief. If I'm going
Mm-hmm.
through a healing process, you can't put a time frame on my healing. I hate when people try to rush their process for somebody. You don't know how they're going to respond, how they're going to react. And again, I think people need to deal with it. Deal with that hurt, deal with that pain, how you need to deal with it. And do it for you. Don't do it so I can get under the next person or on top of the next person. Do
Mhm.
it so that you can be whole and ready to move forward when it's time for you to move forward. But I don't think that people should rush you on that time. And it's gonna be days that it's gonna be easy, and it's gonna be days that's not gonna be so easy. You know what I'm saying? And let me say this to you, Wendy. I believe that somebody gonna be sent to you that's gonna be right there and just right, and you gonna know when that happens. But you can't rush it for, you can't rush your process, and people can't rush your process for you.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
guy, like if they're sensitive like me, they're already gonna have empathy to the fact that you lost somebody that was deeply affectionate to you
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
a husband. So
Yeah.
they're going to understand that they're getting married to that emotion too. And it
Yeah.
won't be a case of, man, why you ain't got over this ninja yet? I'm here now. It won't be attitudes
Yeah.
like that. They'll be a lot more considerate, compassionate on your healing because you're trying to heal from more than a paper cut. You're trying to heal from being cauterized, from your arm
Mhm.
being cut off. So that
Mhm.
process of healing is totally different
Yeah.
than a paper cut to the finger.
Yeah.
So once the man that is going to be brought to you at that time, that's searching for you now, because I'm a firm believer in a man that findeth a wife, finds a good thing. So the
Hmm.
one that's looking for you right now, when he finds you, he's already going to be ready to
Yeah.
deal with the
Absolutely.
loss of your husband too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
So
agree. I agree.
it's part
I
of
think
being
we.
emotionally intelligent.
Mm, see.
He gotta
I
come with.
agree.
He gonna have to come with the laughs and the talks and the stuff. Like you said, there's not going to be ever another Rashida. You
Yeah.
know, you just had that one person that gets you, accepts you for who you are, regardless, and loves you unconditionally. And then you have that kiki hee hee relationship where we used to check each other to the point whoever cried laughing, the person win. Did you make the other person cry laughing of your
Yeah.
checks? Good
That's
stuff.
right.
You know. So I'm just like, God, he has to have a sense of humor. And he has to know when to have a sense of humor, when to speak seriously, because I love to talk about politics. I love to have a good debate. And boy, was my husband a debater. Oh Lord Jesus.
Wow, God. So yeah, I just think that, these things are important. These conversations are important to have. I think what we tend to get away from is actually doing the work to make sure that we are productive individuals when it comes to certain things. And I think because we're not willing to work on ourselves, we're willing to point the other finger, we're willing to do things to get over other situations, it makes it hard for us in the dating world or in any type of world, even because it's folks that can't keep a job for longer than 10 days and they jumping and hopping to the next
Hmm.
thing. And I'm not saying now, you need to be married to your job, but nowadays I see a lot of the younger generation, they don't stay on no job for a long time at all. They jumping from job to job, and they're gonna always find a problem with this job, right? So I find a problem with this job, let me go on to the next one. If I find a problem with this one, let me go on to the next one. And we're not staying and working through whatever. Now I'm not saying you need to stay under unnecessary circumstances, but what I am saying is that there's a difference in even our generation than the younger generation. They don't want to work through anything, and so I think that seeps into other parts of your life. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you
Mhm.
quick to jump and leave and block and do this and do that and do that, that becomes a problem. And that, like I said, that shows a lack of that emotional intelligence, that shows a lack of certain things. So
I, we can also say too that in Wendy's situation, because I've experienced this with Wendy, and she didn't know this, but sometimes people just don't know how to deal with your situation because they've never gone through it
yep.
themselves.
Yep.
Mhm.
So there were times like when we would spend time with Wendy, I felt uncomfortable because I'm standing there and I'm in bliss with my wife, and I know she can't experience that.
Right.
Right.
I'm having an empathetic moment, so it
Mhm.
made me uncomfortable. Not that because I wanted to know how to help her,
Yeah.
to
Mm.
help. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
because I didn't know how to help her, I didn't do nothing. So some of those people may have been talking because they don't. It's kind of like this is what I don't like about the church. Blah 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 blah. I'm going through this. Okay, I'll pray for you. I, I'm not.
Prayer works, but
I'm,
you need more than prayer.
I don't
They
need
created therapy for a reason. They created,
Mhm.
I don't need a
and then on top of
blanket
that,
answer.
you tell them what you're going through, and they gossiping about you at the church. I don't like that neither. The pastor, everything you say means between me and you. Then you gonna have pillow talk with your wife, and your wife the biggest gospel in the whole wide world. Craig, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that I might be calling some people out, and if you a hit dog, go on and holler. I'm just keeping it 100. That's how it is. That's
Yeah,
how it
but
is.
that's probably what was going on in Wendy's life. Like certain people don't know how to handle your situation.
Right.
So the best way for them to handle your situation, say, "Oh, I'll pray for you," or "You haven't got over there yet," or you know what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
those the type of people because you were seeking help in a different way, and I even a reflection of myself looking in the mirror. I was I was even nervous to even bring, like, you tiptoe around the fact that you
Mhm.
lost somebody like that when sometimes you need to deal with it amongst people that are in that
Mhm.
circle, like Rashida and I, because we'll be able to give you hope. But I never looked at it that way. I looked at
Mhm.
it like I was offending you, I guess, for lack of better words, or I was. Making you feel uncomfortable because I was still living a life with somebody. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
a lot of times people they just don't know how to help you.
Mhm.
So they use what possibly helped them or some blanket statement as an aid when it really doesn't help. You needed a hug or you needed just to have somebody listen or you needed a shoulder to cry on and I've been guilty of that myself. Sometimes I have too much empathy because I want to fix it, but I
Right.
can't fix everything. So
But don't ever
it's
feel
the
uncomfortable. Because
it's
it's
the
like
man in
this.
me. It's the man
I
in
feel
me.
like this. If I feel uncomfortable, I would not be in the situation. I would not come. I would make an excuse not to come. Say, I can't come. That's how I deal with it.
Yeah.
If I ever felt like uncomfortable, like, oh, all these people is together, they married, and I'm here, I won't go. I won't go. Like, I have like friends at church, people that I'm close to at church. That some got married, but didn't invite me because they didn't want to offend me. They was like,
Hmm.
well, I wanted you to come, but I didn't know how you would feel. I would be happy for you. I'd be happy for you.
Yeah.
Um, so don't ever feel that because you have Rashida and Rashida has you that I will feel uncomfortable. I like seeing you two be together.
She all
I
right.
like it
Now
because if
she
something
already
happens,
cool.
if something happens, if one of y'all mess each other up, I'm messing both of y'all up.
Yeah, I ain't got time. I ain't got time for no more tomfoolery when it comes to people I know that's married. That's all I got to say, and I
Because
mean that
dealing with one of
wholeheartedly.
them, I'm like, oh,
I ain't got no time
every
for
time I see it,
tomfoolery.
it hurts me. It hurts me.
Yeah,
Yeah. I get threatened often about Rashida, but I also
But
know
I'm doing the
too.
threats to both of y'all.
cause
If one
y'all got to stay together. We ain't got no. The answer
figure
is
it
Yeah,
no,
out,
and we should have been like that about some other folk, but
if
we
you
didn't know
gotta
what was
live in
going on
separate
till it was too late.
bedrooms,
So
if you
all
gotta
I'm
live in separate
saying is,
bedrooms.
right.
Because
yeah.
my husband, he
What?
told me when we do this, we ain't ever getting a divorce.
Yeah,
One of us gotta die. That's what he said. One of us gotta die to get
yeah,
out of this
Hmm.
marriage. And I'm
Yeah,
serious. And he was serious.
yeah.
yeah.
Cause I really don't think people want to work. People romanticize things. I was talking to a friend about that earlier, we romanticize relationships and we think relationships are gonna work like it does on the movies or in an R&B love song from the 90s. Or, we see, oh my God, this is how love is supposed to work. Well, who told you that's how love's supposed to work? Listen to these old married couples and how they talk about that Negro keep leaving his drawers on the floor. It's getting on my nerve. You with a whole other person that you got to deal with and you got to communicate with and you got to deal with their personality. They got to deal with your personality. You ain't gonna like that person every day. You
I
choose to be there. It's a choice.
I
It's a
kid you
choice.
not. My husband used to wake me up 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours before I had to get up. And I'm like, okay, the first couple of times it was kind of cute. But now you messing with my beauty sleep. And I said, now you don't want the bitch Winnie to come out. Because you ain't gonna like the bitch
You ain't
Winnie. You
never
gonna
get
let
me
me
up
get
3 o'clock
my
in the
sleep.
morning.
Because what you gotta tell me at 3 o'clock can wait till 5 o'clock in the morning
It
when
can
I
wait
get up.
2 more hours. You got 2 more hours, dog. Do you need to go write it down so you can remember it? Don't wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't do it.
Hey, but listen, that was his quirk.
Yeah.
That was his quirk. She's never gonna
And,
forget that.
and then like for a year, after he passed, for the whole year, I would wake up at 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock in the morning. See?
Yeah,
And I'm like, really, Ren? Really? Can I get some sleep, please?
yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
But yeah, it's work. And I tell her, look, the wedding, that's the celebration. That's the party. The real work starts the day after the wedding. And it's work. Because you have to decide every day, I love this person. Through the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Because those vows mean something.
yeah,
You saying for rich or for poor, there's gonna be some rich times, there's gonna be some poor times, some sickness and health, better for worse,
I think people
together
don't
you
don't take
part.
our vows
Yeah.
seriously. That's all I'm gonna
And
say.
people don't take them vows seriously.
Not at
They
all.
get
They do not.
they spend 20 to over $100,000 on a wedding. 6 months later, they about to get a divorce.
Crazy work. Cause are you getting
The
married
other
for a wedding? Are you getting married for the marriage? What are you getting married for? Why are you getting married?
And some people just wanted to be married just to say they wanted to be married.
Yeah.
I was 37 when I got married. That's how long I waited. I did not think I was gonna ever get married, period.
hmm.
I feel that way now. I don't know.
Girls don't happen. You
I
got
don't
too much going for you not to be married. Both of y'all do.
But see, it's like this. I'm old school now. I'm like, some of these guys, I'm like, come on now. I'm like, do I have to leave the city with somebody because Memphis ain't got it, to be honest with you. I don't think he's in Memphis. I really don't.
Well, child, I might find him on this boat. I just need y'all to understand. I might find him on this boat in October. I'm just gonna tell you. I'm going to. Oh no, we're going to Mexico. We ain't going to no Jamaica. Wait a minute, maybe not. Um,
I bet you won't. I bet you won't be able to bring them home. go to go to
you know what?
Mexico.
I probably won't,
Go to
Curtis. I
Mexico
might
get
be
Pandora if you
relocating.
want to. You
I
won't
might
be
be
able to bring them
relocating,
home.
man. I might be
Ice.
relocating.
Can you say
I just
ice?
might. I might be relocating to Mexico. If I don't come back, y'all know why. You
Man,
have to be able to retire me. Uh, um. So yeah, I thank you guys for joining us. For
yes.
Talking with Tuesday. I got to send out an email before I sleep. My nap has to continue. I took a power nap, man, for about
No.
hours. And the hour was almost up. I got a text message from Curtis, and then I got a phone call from Shamika, and I was like, okay.
I'm up because I have menopause.
I'm probably gonna wake up at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, like I did yesterday.
Insomnia is crazy. That's why I stopped getting up early in the morning to work out. That's why I wait till after work.
Does that help you
I,
go to
f-
sleep better?
I
Okay, so
forgot
maybe
Right
Wendy
I
now,
need to go back to
was.
early
Why
morning.
did I always think that you were under 40 years old?
look, look, today is June 3rd. I technically got 6 months before I turned 50.
That's crazy.
I'm
Like it's
technically
just I was today years old when I learned that you were older than me. I thought you were like years younger than me. Cause
my
I was doing the math. I said, "Hold on, 11 years, 37."
God help. Not you
Woo!
learn how to count.
Hey, hey,
if 1 plus 1 and 2 is 4,
man.
what the hell is this?
Look, I told a nurse today, there's nothing like Generation X. You know what I'm saying? We look. James Evans was 36 years old on Good Times, looking every bit of 65,
No, people
and
in
we
their
almost
40s and
50.
80s was like gray. My dad had
Man.
gray hair like for as long as I can remember. And I'm like, oh, you was 40 something when I like,
Hey,
sir, explain to me why you look like Ronald Isley already and you
50
39.
is the
I
new
don't
20,
understand.
baby. Well,
Right,
50 is the new 30.
No,
right.
50. No, 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 no. 50 is 50. 40 is 40. 30 is 30. Don't I can't stand when people say that 50 is the new 30. No, 50 is 50.
You know why they doing it? Just for
I'm,
vanity
I'm
and for,
embracing my 50. I'm about to embrace being 50. Right now, I
yeah,
can't fathom it, but I'm going to embrace being 50 because the
yeah, I
Lord
can't wait.
allowed me to live a half of a century.
I can't wait, man.
So
I
I be
got
telling
three
my
more
friends,
years.
they be like, ooh, 50 is gonna be the new 30. No, 50 is 50. When I was
50 is
30,
50.
I just had a baby. I had just had Joshua when I turned 30. Because I was 29 when he was born, and then 3 months later, here I am being 30. Why would
Mm.
I want to go back to that?
Oh no, no,
I don't.
I don't want. Let me tell you
I
something.
don't.
In my former life, I did not have no kids. Okay, that when
Hmm.
I got a house and a home, my utility bill was low. In my former life, listen, uh, it just was not what it was. Okay,
Mm.
um, but yeah, I just thank you guys for joining me this evening. Thank you, Foley. Somebody send that man a power bank. We are taking up a collection for
I have a whole
Foley.
bunch of power banks. I might have to donate one of them.
I'm just saying because I'm so tired of his phone dying. You know, I know we be on this junk for a minute, but sir, you know what it is. I need your phone to be charged. That's all I'm saying.
Mm.
Get him a power bank. Power bank him, please, because I'm tired. Uh, we do this every Tuesday night. Now, next week we probably will not do an episode of Talk to Me Tuesday because that is the week of big events. So, um, I got an event this week. I just got to buy. Hey, you! I need you. Uh, Base. That's what I need. I need you. We'll talk.
Who
I
you
need
talking about? Me?
you. I need the base.
Makeup?
Base. No, liquor from the base.
You gotta talk to Clementine about
Okay,
that.
we'll talk. I
Cause,
gotta talk to
cause,
Clementine. I might
cause
not get none.
see, because that's how you gotta get it. Cause she's the one that got the access.
They won't let you on without her. Oh,
My
I thought.
ID card, a military ID card.
Okay, okay. I got to find somebody. Anybody?
Do you know
Hold on.
anybody
Can't
with
you
the
get on
military?
base?
Huh?
Mm.
You ain't got no. Why you can't get on base?
When I when I got out, I got a general discharge. They asked for my military ID. I still got my benefits. I just can't get on bases.
Oh, that sucks. Okay,
Ooh, that sucks.
Yeah.
I need some military people. Cause I need to get on base. Cause I
I
need to get.
sure told her. I said I was sad too because my sister she can get on the base and she's in Murfreesboro, and I'm like, and I was telling my mom, I said, Mama, I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be really sad. She was like, what you talking about? When I go to see the Lord, I said, yeah. I said, not because I'm gonna miss you. You know I'm gonna miss you because we besties. We right here. Clementine crazy. Okay. When y'all was talking about you
You
was
gonna
talking
leave
about
my
your
choir
daddy.
member alone?
Hold on. When you was talking about your daddy, my mama in the 80s was had a Jerry curl and she was trying to color her gray, and so her hair was green. That's how crazy she was. So,
Not you to cover your mouth. Oh my God.
And so I said, I gotta find me a man who's in the military, who's gonna help me get on base. And my mama said, really? Really? I said, yeah.
That's probably why I need to be looking at the military because I need to
But
go.
there's some crazy men too. They
I know
crazy
that's
too.
crazy, but I need one that's semi sane so I can.
Well, think
PTA,
about it. You got to be crazy to go and fight for an idea.
That's true.
because my dad, he fought in Vietnam.
My
I
daddy
have
did
a
too. My
brother-in-law
daddy got
who fought
my
the
daddy got
Persian Gulf.
drafted though. He didn't volunteer to go fight nobody's war. He didn't have enough college. He didn't have enough college hours in college. He called himself going to school part time, and Uncle Sam said, "Come on to part time over here on this war." That's why.
No, my daddy actually enlisted himself.
Yeah, my daddy didn't do that. My daddy
Hmm.
went no. My daddy got drafted. I'm not ashamed to say. Now he got his benefits, but he can't get on nobody's base. I got to
Hmm.
Why
find somebody
not?
who can get on the base. I don't think he
That's
made
just how some of our discharges are.
because
Cause
I don't.
I can't get
Because
on the
he
base.
wasn't career. He literally got drafted and got discharged after the war. He didn't go. He didn't go and sign up to
Oh,
do.
because my
Yeah,
dad retired after 25
yeah.
years.
No, that ain't no. My
Mm-mm.
daddy. My daddy got out and came back home, and it was what it was.
That was what it
Yeah,
was. Okay.
yeah.
I'm trying to think now.
So he got benefits, but he ain't got the other thing. I gotta find
Well,
because I got
you
the
know
shop.
what?
Hmm.
The only worst thing that I can, or the worst thing that my Clement time would say is no.
Okay, and
So
I just
you
need
may
to.
have to cash at me and I have to give her the cash
That's
and go
fine.
with her. But
That's
the
fine.
worst you can say is no.
Okay, that's fine. And
I don't have to drive her.
that's fine. Just find out. I need it Saturday by Saturday evening.
Okay,
So
I'll let you know tomorrow what she
let
says.
me know, and I can send you the money. I ain't got no problem for it. I just need to. I'll send you a list of what I need, and then we go from there. Cause I just Jesus, cause I got to get on. I got to get the rightly priced. I can't be spending $500 on $2 of liquor. I can't do that.
And then there's no taxes too.
Right.
Dang.
See, I enjoy all of that. Yes, 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 yes.
We
Okay.
might, in fact, we was talking. We hadn't been to the commissary in a while.
Y'all might need to go because the way these prices of the food, I would be on the base all the time. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I could get on the base, I would live there if I could. Because
Yes.
the way this is set
Yes.
up right now, God
Amen.
ain't this is not
God
about
ain't pleased.
He
God
really
is
ain't.
not pleased.
And they thinking that God is pleased, but I'm like, man, just to be a fly in heaven, to see God tell you, depart from me not, I know you not.
because
Depart from me, I know you not.
I won't be there. I'm talking about I can't wait. I won't be there. But I can only imagine.
Just to
I
be
won't be there. But I
just
can
to see
only
their
imagine.
faces. Just to see their faces. I'm like,
Mm-mm.
and y'all
Okay.
prayed before y'all did that bill? Who were y'all praying to before y'all passed that bill? Try to get that bill. I'm like, I'm not understanding.
That's crazy.
Beelzebub.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just
All
okay.
right, we finna get off. Y'all, thank you for joining us. Next week we won't be back, but we will be back the following week for Talk to Me Tuesday. I got to get my whole little thing on here because I gotta work. But we'll be back with some more topics. I'm sure somebody gonna do something with their relationship that's gonna have us talking. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks. So thank you guys for joining us. Good night.
Bye.